For 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with Jeff Siembieda and JJ Buck.
Well, it's kind of like it says in the open. Damn, it's 7 a.m. Except for it was, Dame, it's time. I mean, we've all watched some great performances in the postseason, and this won't go down as the best because he didn't win. But it's one of the best you've ever seen in a losing effort. In fact, the third most points ever scored in the playoffs in a losing effort for a team that did not win. And the shots that Dame Lillard hit, the two clutch threes to put it into overtime and then into double overtime. Damn. And if you're a Nuggets fan, you got to be sitting there thinking we had our chances. We didn't do it. I sure did. I thought the Nuggets had their chances. They missed free throws. They didn't put the game away twice, but the Nuggets win 147-140 on a really, really interesting night of the National Basketball Association. What up to ya? Happy Wednesday. It's the opening drive. Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck. And I guess if you're sitting there with a little bit of a vested interest in it, a rooting interest, as you may have, this had to be a nerve-wracker for you. What a game. What's up, dude?
Well, Dame was unbelievable, but it started off with the worst call I've seen all postseason. No one touched Damian Lillard.
All right, Austin Rivers did not touch him. That is, and to be able to review that and call that a foul was garbage. If you're gonna, I agree with you. If you're going to have replay, get it right.
So it went from a missed shot, which could have been possession Denver after that, to, well, there wasn't a foul on the shot. Austin Rivers happened to touch his shoulder prior to Damian Lillard taking the shot. Thus, about 8 seconds still left on the clock.
And you know what's crazy about that? If they were out of fouls, he would have shot 2 free throws instead of, right? If they were in the bonus, he would have shot 2 instead of got the opportunity to
shoot what ended up being the game-tying 3 and sending it to the first overtime. Now, Denver compounded the issue by allowing him to get that shot off and then not taking the next foul, which at that point, all right, they called it possession back to Portland. Now put him on the line to shoot 2 as opposed to getting off the game-tying 3. So they just compounded what was a terrible call on the floor by the referee.
So if you didn't see it, it's the end of regulation. Nuggets had their opportunities. I think they missed a free throw. And it's going to Dame. There's 13 seconds to go. Nuggets have a foul to give. They don't commit the foul. Lillard goes up with a leg-kicking deep 3, and Austin Rivers is there, really kind of backs off of him. Lillard plays it off, and they call a foul. Rivers immediately says, "I didn't touch him." Replay it. You replay it, and you're going, "Okay, he did not touch it." There was a hand check before he started the move. There was some slight contact with the left hand, Rivers' left hand to the right, that as Dame was gathering, and then there was no contact in the act of the shot, none. And to your point, I didn't even know they could say, well, all right, that foul wasn't there, but there was another one. And so to JJ's point, the game should end in regulation. And so you got to be choked if you're a Nugget fan, right? You're going, all right, this guy, because then they give him the ball back. Because they had a foul to give, Lillard didn't shoot 2 free throws. They give him the ball back. Now they don't have a foul to give. Lillard hits a 3, you go to overtime. And then he hit another one at the end of overtime when he missed free throws and he had 55. You had to think, all right, we've had our chances. This game's going the other way.
Oh, especially after Dame hit that first 3 to send it into overtime. The way it played out, the call, and then the mismanagement of the situation, that's the time you want to put him on the free throw line. That's where you actually give the foul on the floor. Take your chances with shooting 2 and then getting the ball back. You should go down the other end and ending it without giving them the chance to hit that three-pointer in the moment. And the same thing happened at the end of the first overtime. It's a situation where Denver decided to play it out and defend, and Dame Lillard hit another unbelievable shot, and he was fantastic.
How about the 3 he hit from the logo that he
12
banked
of them? Just outrageous performance.
How about the one he banked in from just inside the half-court logo, where you're just going, all right, that was, I think, in the first overtime? Might have been the second, where he pulls up just inside the half-court logo, and he banks one in. And you're just going, what are we doing? To your point, 12 of them.
So a record-setting performance for Dame in the loss, and everyone's looking at the Trailblazers. What's wrong? Well, no one else showed up. and they should have the second best player on the floor.
Well, Jokic,
team wise. If it's all right, it's Dame, Jokic. You have your two star players going at it. CJ McCollum was 7 of 22. Yusuf Nurkic played 24 minutes.
He fouled out.
And fouled out again in the series. And that's the problem. Portland thought they had something, and those guys are not stepping up right now. And this is a Nuggets team that's getting performances from Monte Morris.
Terrific performances.
Fantastic in the last 2 wins for Denver. Because the Nuggets got blued out on Saturday.
Yep.
Like, that wasn't a contest back in Portland. Like, the Trailblazers ran them out the built. And now here they are, down 3-2 after an unbelievable game. And everyone's looking at Dame Lillard, questioning his future.
Well, I don't know how you can't, because is Dame going to be able to win there? To your point, it feels like C.J. McCollum and Nurkic should be a good enough base there. They're a good team.
It's to beat this Nuggets team right now.
And without Jamal Murray. It makes you think this Nuggets team in this year with Jamal Murray, this could be the year. Like if this Nuggets team had Jamal Murray, and you can play all the if games you want, would you consider them the favorites in the West? And you look around, you say, the Lakers are on the brink. Suns aren't invincible. Utah's not invincible. I mean, the Clippers are certainly not invincible. You might say this could be the year, but you could say all you want. The Lillard thing, I will talk about his future, because does he move? Does he go somewhere and say, I just can't, it can't be done here anymore? Are the Blazers failing him? And I think the answer might be yes, because I don't know what more you can ask out of a human. So the only 2 other players who have scored more points in a playoff game and did not win the game was when Michael Jordan scored 63 against the Celtics. I believe that was in '84. And last year in the bubble, Donovan Mitchell scored 57 in a loss to the Nuggets. He had 55. I don't know what more you want the man to do. And every time they get the ball in a key situation, the world knows it's going to. And it's not like he shoots a ton. He was 17 out of 24. I'm going to guess that's a pretty good percentage, wouldn't you? 12 of 17 from three-point line. And that's really good. He also had 10 assists, by the way. I don't know what more you want from him. Dame was Superman last night. He was Superman. And by the way, Jokic was terrific, too, answering almost every time on the other end. He had 38 points, 11 rebounds, and 9 assists for your MVP. Nikola Jokic was great. Michael Porter Jr. has been really good. And to your point, Monte Morris in the playoffs has been a guy that I didn't recognize. Honestly, I mean, I've watched a little Nuggets. I haven't watched what you watch. I didn't recognize him. I had to kind of do a little research.
Absolutely. It's a guy that missed the last few games of the regular season. By the way, Will Barton is also out. He would be another starter for the Denver Nuggets. And this is one, Michael Malone has done a really good job. Yep, Michael Malone has done a really good job with his rotation. And Campazzo was playing a lot early in the series, and Monte Morris was out playing him, and he made the switch. And that's the guy who's getting the minutes now in the clutch situation.
All right, 246-0610's how to get to us today. We got a ton. We're going to get into the Lakers last night. They got run out of the Valley. Just blew out the built, and it was 30 in the first half. It was 30 when it was done. And with all due respect, I don't think it was that close. I don't think it was as close as a 30-point game. It was bigger than that. Chris Paul's injured. We'll get into that. But the Suns beat the Lakers 115-85 in an absolute domination. And then the Nets eliminate the Celtics yesterday. The score in that one was 123-109. Let's go to the phones, and I want to hear what you have to say, because on a morning coming off of some really big NBA stuff, I figured we'd get you coming early. So let's go early to the phones to start. Dan, good morning. You're on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline in the first segment. Man, that means it's got to be good. What's up, Dan?
Morning, gentlemen. What's happening?
Hello, Daniel.
Hey, man, those 2 daggers, Lillard, just brought me out of my seat, bro.
Right.
I usually try and crash out about 10 o'clock so I can get up early, but I had to stay watching. The Lakers game was so boring. Man, the 2 daggers were amazing, but I thought the turning point in the second overtime, and you say these guys, if they're going to have replay, get it right. At the second overtime, it was an out-of-bounds play. The ball came off of Jokic. What's his? How do you pronounce his name?
Nikola Jokic.
The big man for
Jokic.
Yeah, the ball plainly came off of his hand. The ref went, checked it, and he still gave it, and he still gave it to to the Nuggets.
Yeah.
I think right there, the Portland would have gotten the ball in hand. They would have probably scored and changed the outcome of that game.
Who knows?
I think that one little mistake that I call it by the refs would have turned the game around. And you guys might be able to bring it up and check it, but it was plain to see. He touched it, it went out of bounds, and they still gave it back to the Nuggets, you know.
No, that it evened out.
Those daggers were just incredible. That's NBA, man. That's why they're pros. We watched that, and I was so excited and disappointed at the outcome.
Yeah.
But, just a great game. And the Lakers, I can't say I felt bad for them because they looked like JV last night, man.
I'll tell you what.
They just were totally out of sync.
All right.
But, yeah, heartbreaker for Portland, man, and just wanted to get my 2 cents in, guys. Have a great day.
Good to hear you, Dan. So I guess Nugget fan, and you would say, well, all right, we're even.
Yeah.
Right?
We'll call it even.
I mean, it's with all due respect, if they don't get that foul wrong at the end of overtime, you don't get to that point. So, okay. All right, Tommy, stay there. We're going to take this break because I'm going to look at Bobcat, and he's going to yell at me early. And it's too early to get the Bobcat stare. I just don't want it yet. I sometimes miss Stephanie's little, pleasing eyes. Yeah, I don't need it yet. I haven't had a cup of coffee yet. 505-246-0610. Sebastian Noel at 9 o'clock. Talk about Ron Murphy becoming the all-time winningest baseball coach in New Mexico history yesterday. That's a big deal. We're going to get into the Lakers. We're going to hear from you. I got NFL stuff. It's a big, big, big reaction Wednesday here on the opening drive on ProView Networks at 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. Drive, Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck, Micah. Josh produces for you today over on the ProView Network side, where you can watch the show worldwide on ProViewNetworks.com or statewide at Comcast Channel 26.
Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show.
Good morning and welcome to Sports Desk live on Comcast Channel 26.
Welcome to The Point with Nick Rich.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 10, America Talking Out.
I'm Pastor Flora Padilla of Mending Broken Hearts.
Welcome to Henry T. Game Face Live, Comcast 26, and Big Bad ProView Network.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Welcome to Local Focus with Sebastian Noel.
Welcome, sports fans. It's that time of the week again. You are watching the Weekly Rundown.
Hey, welcome to Red Menace TV here on ProView Network.
Hello, I'm Steve Davis. You are watching Public Access TV.
Center fielder, Caden Bell on first. Here's the pitch to Heath. Struck him out. And great pitching by Alvarado. That'll do it for the Tigers in the top of the fifth.
A great crowd for a mid-afternoon game. Swing and a miss, and there's a strikeout, number 5 for Matt Romero.
Smith talking to the batter here. That's a, oh, wow. Nice, and that's an out.
What did I tell you? That one's that gets over the head of the right fielder. That's going to bring in 2 runs. As Adrian Martinez with the RBI double.
Towards the latter part. Pitch, and that's another way for a single. That's going to score 2. That makes the score 9-0. So RBI double. That's going to make it. That's it. It's 10 runs there.
1-0's the count. And this one's high. It's going deep. And it's going to fall in. He's digging for third, and he gets there. Ezra Mestas with the 3-bagger. He gets the triple, and 2 more runs scored.
Yes, there's going to be a lot of Laker talk today, too, because that was unlike anything I've ever seen with a LeBron James team. And I'm not going to put all the blame on LeBron James. He got no help. He had 24 points, and Kuzma had 15, and then nobody else showed up. and it's a good. This is what I told you yesterday. This isn't Cleveland playing some of those teams in the East that they played back when he was pulling Matthew Dellavedova to the finals, right? This is different. This is, granted, you can convince me he's got better players around him than he did back then, and I'll listen to you. But I'm going to tell you the team on the other side. You're playing the 2 seed this time. You're not playing some of those teams that he was going through as 6 and 7 and even 2 seeds in the East back in the day. You're playing a good team with a bona fide superstar, and I would argue with you 2 bona fide superstars on that team in Booker and Chris Paul. And this isn't just lurch through this. So let's go. Oh, okay. I just went. So Tommy held through the break, and I went to touch the button, and Tommy be gone. So Tommy hit us back. But I told you this yesterday. This isn't like this is going to take something superhuman, and he didn't have it in him yesterday. And this isn't a testament on him. He's got no help right now against a team that, again, isn't just an okay team. This is the 2 seed in the West. This is a good team.
And it's a very disappointing team in spots with the expectations that were placed on Dennis Schroeder, and he was 0 of 9 from the field. And you have to take a step back and say this Lakers team isn't that good. Like, it's not just because Anthony Davis is there. The regular season, they were 23rd in points per game. Yes, they missed Anthony Davis and LeBron missed a lot of time.
Yeah.
But we knew coming into the postseason, this was not a good offensive team. They were a team that got by because they could play defense. They had the second best points per game against in the NBA. And they defended their backsides off, and that helped them overcome their offensive inefficiencies. And without Anthony Davis, they can't be that team. And you saw it last night in its total glory when you're starting Markieff Morris. When Caldwell Pope is banged up, scoring 0 points.
0
in the starting lineup. Kyle Kuzma, he's not that dude. And a couple years ago, you thought he was going to be. Yeah. He's not. He's another NBA player that can have his night.
Yeah.
But he's not he's never going to be the number 3 on this team. And so that's why you have to have your 2 superstars leading the way. That's what this Lakers team did last year, win a championship. That was gold this year. And without Anthony Davis, they're done. They're done.
I will take you back to the offseason, the short offseason in the NBA. So what are we looking about? Last November was it, right? October, November. And they made the move, and they got Dennis Schroeder. And so I think the common sentiment, and I believe I bought into it too, and I'm pretty sure you did too, was, damn, look what they're doing.
Nice move.
This team is better. I mean, here's a championship team that isn't sitting on their laurels, that is getting better. Well, they added Schroeder. They're going to be better offensively. Schroeder's better than Rondo. Okay, he's better theoretically, Schroeder than Rondo. Would you rather have Dennis Schroeder or playoff Rondo right now?
You take playoff Rondo, but even playoff Rondo
isn't going to make
this
this
situation.
work. Right? No, I'm down. I'm down.
It's AD.
But it's Anthony Davis. Charles Barkley's calling him street clothes. Like, that's what he calls him now. He's calling him street clothes because he's injured so much. We're at a point. We're at a lot of points right now with the Lakers. We are at a lot of crossroads. First and foremost, we're at a crossroads on this season. They are the brink of elimination going home. I got to believe Anthony Davis isn't going to play tomorrow night, right?
Yeah, even if he does. Like,
how good's he going to be?
What are you going to get out of the guy?
So,
strained groin.
Now, I just watched the Nuggets turn around. What did they get beat by 2 nights ago? 30-ish?
Nice margin.
Right? I just watched the Nuggets turn around and get beat on the road in a game that looks somewhat like this, and turn it around and come home and win. And they don't have LeBron James. So I'm not going to until that guy, until the body's cold, like, there's no way I'm counting that guy out. So I'm not telling you the series is over. You won't hear that out of me. You're going to hear it out of a lot of people. Now, it might be. And the only reason I think they got any life is because they've got that guy. But I just don't know what I saw last night. And throughout the series, it tells me without Anthony Davis, the Lakers can beat the Suns. Even if Chris Paul's injured, and Chris Paul injured his shoulder in a late. I mean, it was in the third quarter. In a scenario where Wesley Matthews and him got tangled up, and I don't think that was dirty, by the way. But what do you see that makes you think that that LeBron can come back and be Superman. And I mean, he's got to go for upper 40s, 50s.
It's a Dame Lillard situation.
Yeah.
You're going to need one of those games and hope defensively that you're playing well. And we saw last game, in the second half, the Lakers, that was their ceiling with this particular squad.
And it was defensive driven.
And if they can't play like that, if Phoenix is going to score over 100 points, the Lakers have no shot.
And they only scored 115 in a blowout, right? I mean, when you refer to what you saw the other day, it was defensive driven. It was driven off of the defensive side. The Lakers, when they D up, force turnovers, that's their only chance. Tommy, good morning. You're on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Hi, Tommy.
Hey guys, what's up? Tom and the Truth back at you. Yeah, I liked what I saw last night. Lillard is such a loyal team to that Portland franchise.
Yeah, but
I hope they put enough around him and it doesn't end up like the Michael Jordan situation where he was, I remember when he scored 60 points against Boston and basically a one-man team and didn't get better till he got Phil Jackson and some other players around him. But is Lillard under a long-term contract with Portland right now, or is his contract coming up?
I'll find it for you. Do you know what his contract status is? I'll find it. I don't know off the top of my head.
I really think that he's been there, 4 years, 5 years?
More than that.
More than that.
He's 30 years old.
I hate to see him being in similar to the Garnett situation. When Kevin Garnett, I always felt he stayed too long in Minnesota, and he should have left because they really didn't put a lot around him. So I hope Portland realizes who they have and put a lot around him, or he makes a decision to just take off and leave.
Last year of his deal?
But I'd love to see some different teams win this year. I'd love to see Phoenix beat the Lakers because LeBron can't do it by himself. He does need his guy that seems like he's always Mr. Brittle and getting hurt at the wrong time. And another thing I wanted to ask you guys, I know you've heard about the tennis player made $55 million, and I think last year the female, she's ranked number 2 in the world going through depression. And I think it's important for people to remember I've been through that myself. And it's back in the 70s and 80s and 90s, it was always just get over it, it's in your head, so on and so forth, where it's not. Depression doesn't look at your money. It doesn't care how much money you make. If you're rich, poor, or middle class, it can hit anybody. Kevin Love, I believe, was dealing with it. It still does deal with it with Cleveland, the Cavs. How do you guys feel about her not wanting to do interviews? I'm fine with it. I'm fine with anybody not wanting to do interviews if it's affecting their quality of life, because everybody's different the way they handle things. I want to see you guys feel about that.
All right, Tommy, thanks. I'll get to Osaka in a minute. So Lillard signed a 4-year, $176 million extension, right? So he's signed through the 2024-2025 season. He'll make this year he's making only $31.6 million, Bob. I don't know how he's going to get by on that. Only $31.6. Next year he makes a tick under $40 million. Then he'll make $42.5 million. Then he'll make $45.6 million, and in the final year of his deal, he'll make $48.7 million. I mean, money makes. It's first of all, it's going to be a hard contract to move, right? If he decides to demand a trade, right? Somebody can pay it. Obviously, it's a lot of money, man. I mean, how unhappy is he going to be?
Yeah, Dame is pretty solid in Portland at this moment in time.
So
that contract.
It feels like I heard this morning. Well, Portland's failing him. Okay. Portland paired him with another really good guard, and we've had the conversation at time that that's the best backcourt in the NBA, have we not? With him and C.J. McCollum.
We have.
Now I don't know if it is or if it's not. I mean, I would tell you I still believe when Klay Thompson is healthy, Steph Curry and Klay Thompson are the best backcourt in the NBA. But C.J. McCollum and him are really good. Kyrie Irving and James Harden's really good. But best, I mean, they're there. Nurkic is really good. He was injured last year, right? And then they went out and they made the trade and they got Norman Powell. When you look at their roster, the guy always thought when they got Carmelo it was a stretch, and he hasn't performed. They put enough around him. I mean, there's pieces around. It's not like he's out there all by himself.
It's not. And I heard that as well last night, and then coming in this morning, I'm like, hold up.
Right.
Who do y'all think is on the Denver Nuggets right now?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Porter Jr. is evolving into a good player, but it's like you got beat by Monty Morris as well. So they're acting like there's a bunch of scrubs on Portland. It's not. They had CJ didn't play well last night.
CJ stepped out of bounds in a key situation with the ball in his hand, just stepped out of bounds.
The guys last night just didn't play well, but now to get to the point where like the Trailblazers are failing him. Okay, show me how easy it is to get that number 2 star.
Yeah.
Like you're going to say that about 27 franchises right now.
In Portland. So give me go through your lifetime real quick. Biggest name free agent that signed with the Trailblazers. It's hard, right? I mean, I don't know.
So I think,
and I covered them for a while.
Has done a fantastic job with this roster because they drafted Damian Lillard out of Weber State. They drafted C.J. McCollum out of Lehigh.
Yep.
They acquired Nurkic via trade.
Yep.
They're doing what they have to do, but there's also the point where, much like quarterback talk in the NFL, you got to slow your roll, take a step back, and go, where also are all these other stars that are easily acquired? Like the Kawhi Leonard situation was bizarre. It was 2 camps going after each other. San Antonio making sure that he went somewhere that wasn't in the Western
They
Conference.
sent him to Siberia, they thought.
And ended up being, like, Toronto is Portland before Kawhi Leonard showed up. But it's how do you get that guy? Who's that guy that you can poach with superstar experience in a championship ring?
I'm going to tell you, Toronto was worse than Portland when he went there. That was Siberia. Toronto hadn't done much. It was out of the country. It was cold.
Canada.
It's Canada. It's out of the country. It's cold. And and everything that he wanted to do was go to California, and they sent him as far away from California.
Yeah, but the franchise that was, while they hadn't won a championship,
marginal.
They were not marginal.
They were marginal.
No, they were not.
Yeah,
Kidding me?
Yeah, they were
marginal.
Not good.
They were not good.
They weren't that good. They had Flash with Vince Carter. Lowry was a nice player. What else had they done?
In the moment of where they were roster wise and winning, and having an NBA Coach of the Year.
He was NBA Coach of the Year when they won.
No, before they let an NBA Coach of the Year go to hire.
Yeah, they let him go. They let him go and brought in Nurse. I just. It was Siberia as far as I was concerned. I'll find
if you're a kid from California that doesn't like being cold,
which is kind of the point, right? I mean, what they did to him is put him away as far away as they could. Your point being, and I'll look up all the Toronto stuff. Your point being is, how do you get people to Portland? How are you getting in? And it might as well be Siberia if you're from the East Coast, right? I mean, it might as well be. You're going
like that.
Yeah.
You have to keep fingers crossed and the timing and have it all work out.
Yeah.
A move like that. Let me tell you about a move that has helped me. And it's F45 functional fitness, F45 training, high intensity training classes, fast, fun, and results driven. And it has helped me get that energy, that spark back. And if you're someone that's looking to just get over that hump, maybe you've been working out, you feel pretty good, but you need something extra. You're like, how do I get this next 10 pounds off? How do I get it to that next level? You can do that with F45 functional fitness. Full body workouts in a 45-minute session. The new program started this week where the different focus every day of the week. And that's the thing with F45 training. You're not going to get overwhelmed in just one particular area. It's full body functional fitness. So check them out at F45training.com. Download the F45 app today. You can take a look at the schedule of classes. They have classes available 7 days a week. And you can also sign up for your free 7-day trial. Get in the gym, check it out, see what you think, and let me tell you, you're going to like it. I've enjoyed it, and it's definitely helped me get that spark back and push towards being better with my fitness, and thus you have that carryover to your everyday life. You're going to feel a little bit more energetic. You're going to eat a little bit better. And the thing with the app that I really enjoy is when you book your class, because you download it, book your class, it's on your schedule. So it's not just maybe I'll work out tonight. No, I have a class booked at this time. Get that little reminder that pops up an hour before the class. So you're going to find that consistency to go to the gym. So check them out at F45training.com. Download the F45 app today. Team training, life changing. I'll see you at F45.
Steal to third base.
And he brought the hot sauce for strike 3.
Small ball team for Reed Fiegel this year. That one is hit on the line to the left. It's going to send Avila back to the warning track, to the wall, and he's going to watch it go. It's a solo homer off the bat of Bo Kidd. 1-0 Eagles. Just when we were talking about small ball, the Eagles played long ball. Good over with 2 outs here. That boy's well hit to left. Coming in on it is Morris, and he drops it, and the Ravens win it.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspet.com.
Datacom is the manufacturer's representative for the states of Arizona and New Mexico. Datacom represents Fuji Electric for uninterruptible power systems and Layer 0 for static switches and power distribution units. High-Tech Power Protection manufactures dynamic rotary UPS systems up to 3.6 megawatts, individual and 100 megawatts by combining multiple units. Call Louis Ruffin today at 505-507-7722 or go to datacom.com to learn more.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. They're at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact.
So in the 10 years before Kawhi went to Toronto, they had been in the playoffs 5 times, missed the playoffs 5 times. The 2 years prior to Kawhi getting there, Toronto did get to the Eastern Conference semifinals. In fact, they got to the Eastern Conference finals 3 years before that and lost the first round 2 years before. So they were not horrible. They were on the brink of the NBA finals back in 2016. But I will ask this question because I do believe that it was considered purgatory in the NBA. And I'll ask you the same thing I asked you in Portland. Who's the biggest name free agent you can recall in your lifetime signing, opting to go to Toronto? And that's kind of my point. That's all. You're right. The franchise wasn't bad. They were in the semifinals in the Eastern Conference. Yeah,
where Portland is right now.
Yeah,
essentially.
Yeah,
and I'm not for what is that next player, timing, whatever it may be. Because you've established yourself a pretty darn good team, but it's not a championship. And by the way, series isn't over.
No.
And the West still, Phoenix is good, but that side of the bracket is wide open. If Portland or Denver comes out and they're staring at the Phoenix Suns, it is an entirely different feeling than staring at the Lakers if they would have been the healthy team in the second round.
Let me explain to you. The entirety of the West is wide open. The entire there's you can't tell me with certainty one team's going to win.
No.
You can make an argument for 5 teams. Hell, 6 if you want to throw the Lakers in. You can make an argument for 6 teams right now. You can tell me that AD is going to get healthy and he'll be back tomorrow, and Lakers have that guy and they're going to run through it. You can say, look at Phoenix and look what they're doing, and they've got Booker and Paul playing well. You can point to Denver and say Jokic is going to carry him, and yeah, Murray's out, but look what they're getting from your boy Monte Morris and Porter. Lillard's there. The number 1 seed is Utah, and then the team nobody was really talking about is the Clippers, who might be the best team.
We figured it out. It was a combination of Luka suffering nerve damage and Kawhi Leonard and Paul George continuing to play at a high level. And for the Clippers, as much as we talk about Kawhi and his leadership, it's pretty evident that this team isn't necessarily about that stuff or who's going to be the guy that leads the way. It's just pretty much they're playing good basketball, they're going to be good, not necessarily looking for that emotional leader or someone that's going to be the hoorah guy. It's just, hey, if we're playing good basketball, then we're good together.
You know, I was watching a Kawhi interview the other day, and it was talking like a leader. So if you just dropped in from outer space and just saw the interview, and I don't remember if it was a pregame, postgame. I honestly don't remember where it was this weekend. It just kind of, but he sounded like saying everything LeBron would say, Michael Jordan would say, Kobe Bryant would say. He was saying all those things, and he's got a really good voice too, right? And so, you know what I've sat here and said, I don't know what he's like in the locker room. I really don't. I don't know. I mean, I know what he's like on the floor. He's not an outward yell, rah rah. He doesn't look at his guys and put his palms up in the air when somebody gets to the basket or complain on every single play. I don't know. Does that make him not a leader? I mean, I don't know if he is or not. How do you have to lead? We've had that conversation. But when I heard him speak over the weekend, he sounded like a guy who was leading the team.
And that's good to hear because I think far too many times he's been passive.
Yeah.
And he's just kind of looked around going, well, what else do you want me to do? I just scored 40 points.
Yeah. My hands are gigantic.
Yeah. And someone needed to bring that team
and maybe it was him.
And if it was him, that's fantastic because that's what we've been waiting for. And the stories will come out. We'll learn more at some point in time. They do a pretty good job not letting it get crazy. But there was far too many things with the Clippers coming out. Fractured locker room, screaming on the sideline. And so it just kind of, you just get the feeling like, okay, they're a team that if they're playing good, things are going good, but who's going to push them through that moment? Who's going to hold them together? Is it really Ty Lue? Does it have to be Kawhi Leonard? So it's the circumstances for the Clippers. You still got
how much is on Paul George in this scenario? I mean, how much is on the number 2? The number 2 guy just rides?
Playing fine.
No, but as far as the leadership stuff, does the number 2 guy just get to ride shotgun and just I'm here?
He's trying.
Yeah.
We definitely hear more from Paul George than Kawhi Leonard. But to your point, I always have to pause a little bit and say I don't know exactly what that locker room is like.
Right.
But there's still, for someone that we consider a top 3 player in the game, I got to stop saying what about Paul George.
No, but
and I think we've kind of turned that corner because of the way they play.
Yeah, I agree with you that it's on Kawhi. But what about Paul George? What about Anthony Davis? Like, is the number 2 guy just get to sit shotgun and just ride and play?
Well, it's always been about, the last 2 years. Playoff P in his performance.
Who's been bad?
It's been fantastic through the first 4 games.
No, this playoffs it has. This playoffs it has. Yes.
And when it comes to keeping it together and not looking at fractured locker room, this or that, because last year neither of these guys played, and then you had the 4-month hiatus, and then it's like never had chemistry. That's where I'm still going to Kawhi. And it feels like the one thing with Kawhi Leonard that I do appreciate is nothing throws him off. But I wonder, though, how does he translate that to the rest of his guys?
Yeah.
Because you have a Rondo who's fiery. You have a Marcus Morris.
And you need that.
That's going to get up in his grill, which is great.
Yeah.
But how do you translate that to the rest of them as opposed to, hey, I'm going to come out here and do my job each and every single night.
Somebody else lead.
But how do you keep those guys together so we don't get to the Clippers of last year?
Yeah, it feels like he's morphing into that role. Playoff of this series, which was a very important game. Game 4, Lillard was 1 of 10 from the field, 1 of 6 from 3, and his team won by 20, while leading by 30 most of the game. Now that's correct. That's absolutely correct, and that's kind of what you and I were saying. This narrative that they're letting him down. C.J. McCollum is really good. He's probably the best guard in the game that nobody talks about, maybe next to Conley from Utah.
Yeah.
right? I mean, maybe the best guard in the game that nobody talks about. Nurkic should be a bona fide superstar. Nurkic should, and he should be.
Not a superstar.
I don't think he's completely.
I think when
he's
you
completely healthy,
put these guys with Dame, in your Portland, it's very similar to, well, we found a Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday for Giannis.
Okay,
it's that same. Like, we got good players. Other than acquiring a superstar, which ain't that easy.
Especially there.
That's all you can do.
Especially there. Yeah. Especially there. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Emails, Jeff or JJ. That's sportsaudiblebq.com. Twitter _JJ Buck. Facebook, The OD in the AM. Of course, you can watch the show there. Aaron's producing it for you. We're on ProView Networks. ProView Networks YouTube channel. We're on channel 26 on Comcast every day and on our Facebook page, and you can watch the show simulcast there. Bobcat's somewhere in the background picking up the phone. Hey, speaking of watching, who's watching your home? I hope it's the good guys and not the bad guys. IPS watches my home. International Protective Service. They have for years. They monitor my home. They're there every day. They're looking out for what's important to me. That's my home, my family, my security. They will watch your home. They will watch your business. Hundreds of homeowners and business owners in Albuquerque and Santa Fe rely on Aaron and his highly trained, armed officers to protect what's important to them, what they've worked so hard to build. Don't let something bad happen. Don't wait until something bad happens and then it's too late and then you make the call. I get it. It's kind of like insurance. You don't want to make the call. You know what's going on in this community. Don't be a victim. Call IPS and protect what's important to you. You go out of town, they're there picking up the newspaper and the mail if you want them to, rolling out the garbage cans on garbage day. It's just protecting what's yours. I called IPS years ago. It gave me and my family peace of mind. I believe it'll do the same for you. There's no long-term contracts or commitments. I think you're going to like this. 505-897-2420 is the number. That's area code 505-897-2420. Or you can go visit them online at ipsglobal.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Here at Legacy, we are here to disciple people by helping them connect with God, grow in relationships, and live generously.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspet.com.
A rogue virus, no jobs, sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a #1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Calling all football players, are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work. Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for aspiring football players at all levels. Whether you're looking to increase your speed, gain strength, or hone your skill, we train all positions with a team of experienced coaches who know what it takes to succeed at all levels from Yaffle to college. Check us out at 8gradys.com to learn more and sign up for training today.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green and keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks. Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspet.com.
Well, when Steph Curry is tweeting Dame Lillard, that's all I have to say. There's something to it, huh? He might be pretty good. It was spectacular last night watching that performance. It was Steph Curry-like. Those are the two guys in this game. And Steph will, I think Steph, well, in my mind, Steph is the better shooter because he's been doing it longer, but not much. I mean, not much better. What Dame Lillard did last night it could have been Steph Curry, huh? There's two guys in the game that can do that.
Dame and Steph.
Yeah, there's two guys that can do that. And it was terrific. 55 points last night for Damian Lillard. I just saw a report flash across the bottom of the screen in red. Adrian Wojnarowski of ESPN reporting that Danny Ainge is considering stepping down as the general manager, president of the Celtics. Well, when I see more, I'll let you know more. But they got knocked out yesterday in the first round by the Brooklyn Nets. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Edward, good morning. You're on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Good day, sir.
Well, good day, gentlemen. You know, I've always had a firm appreciation for Danny Ainge, and people forget he played for, I believe, the Toronto Blue Jays, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct, yeah.
Is that accurate, Jeff?
Yeah, I think that is correct, yeah.
And just his ability to, he was a scrappy player. And when we say scrappy, the guy's probably 6'5". And I remember he hit a couple of bombs in college when he played for BYU.
Yeah, against UCLA in the tournament. It was a legendary game, yeah.
Didn't he hit like a half-court shot?
Yeah, he went nuts, yep.
Just an amazing athlete and three-time champion. And but as a GM, you know, I think he made a great hire. But at least they have a lot of draft capital. You know, once you get in the NBA draft, once you get through like the first 7 picks, it's really just a crapshoot. Quite honestly, you might steal somebody in the late first round or second round, but for the most part, if you're not in the top 7, 8, 9 picks, probably even the top 5 in most years, draft equity is pretty much useless, in my opinion. Hey, Dame Lillard is spectacular. I was blown away. I had 2 TVs going last night. Really disappointed with the Lakers' effort, but my gosh, you know, it kind of is what it is at this point. And Lillard, just an amazing ability to fire from deep and create his own shot. Let me share this with you. And I listened to the first half hour of your show, and I listened to the analyst last night, and I found it fascinating. Lillard, with all his spectacular shots that he hit, and he hit 3 bombs in a row in late in the game and in overtime, his last 3 possessions, he gave the ball up. Now, you'll say he was double-teamed and they forced it out of his hands. He drove a magnificent drive and dumped it to the big guy. I don't remember his name, and he misses a dunk. Then he throws it to the other guard, who's spectacular, and he steps out of bounds.
Yeah, Covington missed the dunk, and McCollum stepped out of bounds.
And then McCollum missed another easy layup. So a missed layup, a missed dunk, and a guy stepped out of bounds. In the post-game interview, they asked him, and he said, well, I was double-teamed, and I was trying to make the right play. Where does that sound familiar, guys?
Sounds
Where
like
does that sound familiar?
That's your guy.
On the 14-year history, on the day of the 14-year history of LeBron when he was 22 years old, against the world champion Detroit Pistons, he put up 48, 9, and 17, scored 29 of the last 30 points, and hit the game winner in the second overtime. By the way, I wish he had a killer mentality. I just wish he had more of a killer mentality. And I'm not defending LeBron. I'm just pointing this out. Had LeBron given up the ball the last 3 possessions in that game last night, what do you think the narrative would have been?
Well, that he's got to take over. That he's got to. That he. Yes. Yeah. Meanwhile, his team was down by 30. So.
No, you're right. I think you get my point, right? And it's not taking Dame Lillard was spectacular. If Dame Lillard leaves Portland and joins a team with another major superstar, what do you think the narrative would be?
That he's chasing a ring. But I don't know that it would be. I honestly, I don't know that it would be. I think people would say he's earned this, and I don't know that he would get killed like that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Jeff. The narrative would be completely different than that of LeBron James, who had several 40 to 50-point games in the playoffs.
Well, nobody's comparing Damian Lillard to LeBron James. I mean, Damian Lillard hasn't glossed himself the king and the best player and better than Michael Jordan. It's a different narrative.
I agree with you, Jeff, but there's a double standard that LeBron has lived with for probably 17 years.
Right.
And yes, he brings a lot of it on upon himself. But I just found it interesting, the narrative last night, and it was a spectacular game, and I'm a huge fan of Dame Lillard. But it's just an interesting observation that I hear play out, and I saw it on Twitter last night. I saw it on every news media outlet, and it's just interesting. Yeah. Anyway, just food for thought. I appreciate the conversation about mental health, and it carried on to other sport outlets yesterday, and you guys are doing a great job.
Thanks.
Thank you.
We'll get there. You go ahead. You can react to that.
It's because we don't consider Dame Lillard on Mount Rushmore.
Right.
We're all going to talk about that guy differently than LeBron James.
I'll tell you this.
There's a different level to
it. Yeah, I'm not. Let me tell you something. I'm not going to feel bad for LeBron James today. Okay, first of all. Secondly, stature. Okay, what does that mean? I don't think. We do not hold a player of the stature of a Steph Curry or a Damian Lillard to the same standard that we would hold a Kevin Durant or a LeBron James. Okay? They don't have the natural gifts. LeBron James is 6'9", 265, and those shoulders were built for this. Kevin Durant's 7 feet tall and can do things that are unbelievable. There's totally different. We've never seen a 7-footer with handles like that who can shoot like that, right? Ever. Have we?
I can't call one.
Okay. We look at Dame Lillard, who's what, 6'4", 5, 6'3", 4? We look at Steph Curry at 6'2". The small guys, little guys who can take over a game, we look at them in a different light. And whether that's right or wrong, and I'm going to tell you I think it's right, they don't have the natural gifts. And so, I think we would look at them differently. We don't.
They just don't have the size.
Well, that's my point. They don't have that size, that strength, that brute physicality that they can just take over. And I think we view, and rightfully so. I think I do. I know I'm swayed by that. I view them differently.
Well, the way the game is played, they have the gifts to take over now. The touch and the shooting ability.
And they can get to the rim. But I want to have that conversation because to me that's the difference. I also got the 2012 draft up. It's actually fascinating to me how many guys are playing in this playoffs and the order in which they were drafted and from where. 505-246-0610. Sebastian Noel coming up at 9 o'clock from ProView Networks. Hey, Aaron kind of digs the tunes. Bobcat's producing for you on the radio. Glad you're with us on ProView Networks and 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
in line.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Drive, Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck. Micah, Josh produces for you today over on the ProView Network side, where you can watch the show worldwide on ProViewNetworks.com or statewide on Comcast Channel 26.
Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show.
Good morning and welcome to Sports Desk Live on Comcast Channel 26.
Welcome to The Point with Nick Rich.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 10, America Talking Out.
I'm Pastor Flora Padilla of Mending Broken Hearts.
Welcome to Henry T. Game Face Live, Comcast 26, and Big Bad ProView Network.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Welcome to Local Focus with Sebastian Noel.
Welcome, sports fans. It's that time of the week again. You are watching the Weekly Rundown.
Hey, welcome to Red Menace TV here on ProView Network.
Hello, I'm Steve Davis. You are watching Public Access TV.
Center fielder, Caden Bell on first. Here's the pitch to Heath. Struck him out. And great pitching by Alvarado. That'll do it for the Tigers in the top of the fifth.
A great crowd for a mid-afternoon game. Swing and a miss, and there's a strikeout, number 5 for Matt Romero.
Smith talking to the batter here. That's a, oh, wow. Nice, and that's an out.
What did I tell you? That one's that gets over the head of the right fielder. That's going to bring in 2 runs as Adrian Martinez with the RBI double.
Towards the latter part. Pitch, and that's other way for a single. That's going to score 2. That makes the score 9-0. So RBI double. That's going to make it. That's it. It's 10 runs there.
The count. And this one's high. It's going deep. And it's going to fall in. He's digging for third, and he gets there. Ezra Mestas with the 3-bagger. He gets the triple, and 2 more runs scored.
Steal to third base.
He brought the hot sauce for strike 3.
Small ball team for Reed Fiegel this year. That one is hit on the line to left. It's going to send Avila back to the warning track, to the wall, and he's going to watch it go. It's a solo homer off the bat of Bo Kidd. One nothing Eagles. Just when we were talking about small ball, the Eagles play long ball.
With 2-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Siembieda and JJ Buck.
Spectacular hoops last night in one game, spectacular on one side and the other, and then just real businessman-like finishing by the Brooklyn Nets. What up to you, and Merry Wednesday. It's the opening drive. Jeff Siembieda and JJ Buck. Lakers get blued out of the built in Phoenix last night. 115-85. The Suns have a 3-2 lead going back to Staples Center. The champs are on the ropes. In Denver last night, a fabulous, maybe the best game I've seen in the playoffs this year. Is that fair? At Ball Arena? Double overtime?
Yes.
It was best game I've seen. The Nuggets outlast the Blazers in double overtime, 147-140. Dame Lillard was just beyond spectacular with 55 points, 2 3-pointers at the end of regulation and at the end of the first overtime to force extra periods and finally succumbed 55 points. Nikola Jokic had 38 and 11 in a winning effort for the Nuggets. And then back east, it was the Nets 123, the Celtics 109. So the Nets move on and eliminate Boston in the NBA playoffs. Jeff Siembieda and JJ Buck. Phone number for you to get in today is 505-246-0610. You can send emails. Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com, JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. Bob's producing, and he'll take your calls on the radio side, and it's Aaron on the TV side. All right, I was looking at that draft. So first of all, it's one of the few that the Blazers got right in the history of their draft, right? You can go back to them passing on Michael Jordan. I wonder what Blazer fan thought back in 2012 with the 6th overall pick. Anthony Davis went 1, and his college teammate Michael Kidd-Gilchrist went 2 to Charlotte. Bradley Beal ends up being a really nice pick for the Wizards at 3. Deion Waiters was obviously a stretch out of Syracuse at 4 for Cleveland. Sacramento took, where's Thomas Robinson from Kansas?
Not in the league.
Yeah. And then there was Damian Lillard at 6 at a Weber State. I wonder what at that time Blazer fan was thinking.
Weren't thinking they had a superstar.
Right?
Absolutely. Taking Dame Lillard out of Weber State, they're like, what? Who? When? Why? Where? What's going on?
Yeah, I think some kid out of Weber State to go with a kid out of Lehigh. Did they already have the kid out of Lehigh, or did he come later?
No, it was after.
That was later. And that's C.J. McCollum. So I give him that. Going through that, by the way, the rest of the top 10, Harrison Barnes, who had a nice run with the Warriors, went 7th. Terrence Ross out of Washington went to Toronto. Andre Drummond, who you watched last night play for the Lakers, was the 9th pick to Detroit. And then Austin Rivers, who played last night, but was 10th. Also in that draft, in the 2nd round, a guy named Draymond Green went 35th overall to Golden State. Chris Middleton, who is the 2nd best player on the Milwaukee Bucks, went 39th overall to Detroit out of Texas A&M. So I only do this because I guess it illustrates the point. It is a crapshoot. And Edwards said, if you don't have the first 4 or 5 picks, I mean, it's just it is a crapshoot. But just because you have one of the top 4 picks, I mean, I don't know. Would you rather have Deion Waiters or Thomas Robinson, who went 4 or 5, or would you rather have Draymond Green or Chris Middleton, who went 35 and 39?
I'd rather have Mo Harkless, who went 15th overall.
Right? it's a crapshoot.
You mean Evan Fournier, who went 20th overall? It's still in the league, playing with the Boston Celtics last night. And Will Barton, who went 40th overall, who would be playing if he wasn't hurt.
Jay Crowder, 34th overall. I think he had a really, really big role for what the Phoenix Suns are doing. He was 34th overall out of Marquette, went to Cleveland. 34th, he went right before Draymond. Right? I mean, they were pretty good players in the 2nd round of that draft. Our boy Jeffrey Taylor from Hobbs, New Mexico, was the first pick of the 2nd round in that draft. All I'm saying is, man, they're everywhere. And you got to get lucky. Because you walk out of there going, oh, yeah, we had the 4th overall pick. Man, we got that Deion Waiters. Okay. How'd Jeremy Lamb work out for the Houston Rockets? I mean, there's
in the league, at least.
Is he?
Yes.
Where's Royce White?
He was with the Pacers, however, he was injured.
Royce White still in the league?
Royce White is not.
Yeah.
He was the player that had the fear of flying, which
Jeremy Lamb was?
Royce White
was.
And which cost him his opportunity in the league, and he was bouncing around the G League for a while.
That's a tough phobia if that's going to be your profession. If you're going to be a professional athlete and you got to fly from Houston to New York to play a game tomorrow, it's a tough phobia to get over. It's a tough one to have. All right. You can get in on where you're going now. I want to finish up a thought on the Lakers, and we can get back into the Naomi Osaka stuff too, because I got a lot of thoughts there. I told you that I think they're at a lot of crossroads. Obviously, the crossroad of this season where they're going to go. They're at a crossroad with Anthony Davis. There's going to be inquiries. Where does he go? Is he the right guy? It's going to be interesting if they go out tomorrow and get beat. Where's LeBron on the AD thing? What's the best ability, JJ?
Availability.
LeBron is 36. not getting any younger. I don't think he's showing a lot of age. Do you? I mean, people are telling me, "Oh, he's getting old. He's showing his age." Why? Because he can't carry a team anymore through the playoffs. He's not in the Eastern Conference anymore. First of all, I mean, look, with all due respect to everything he did back then, and it was spectacular, and he took some teams that were marginal at best. The path that he's trying to run through now in the West, and I think he knew this, and we all knew this when he got to the West, was a lot tougher. And the East is tougher now than it was then, but you can't do it by yourself. He couldn't win a ring by himself then, and he can't do it by himself now. I mean, do you see him getting a lot older? I know he's 36, and he's got a little bit of a slab of bologna on the top of his head, but
I don't know if he can have a Detroit Pistons moment.
Yeah.
Where he just straight up rips the series by himself. He's not that he can't do that 2 games against the Suns.
I don't think so either. Yeah,
can he win the next one, and can LeBron have a game which he's going to have to, where it's oh man, LeBron's scoring 40
at home.
He's approaching 50.
Yeah.
Like that's what it's going to take. But to rip 2 from this Phoenix team, I don't see it.
So what do the Lakers look like next year? What do the Lakers look like next year?
They look like a team that will
Faced
have
with those two?
Their fingers crossed that Anthony Davis can stay healthy.
Okay.
Because while I believe they would think about a trade for Anthony Davis, who is going to be that player? Because you'd have to somewhat match salaries, and Anthony Davis just signed his extension.
Yep.
He's got a boatload of money coming, and it would have to be potentially another star player whose team just fell apart. And so you're looking at, would that be Kawhi Leonard if the Clippers collapse again? Which
Yeah,
I
that'd
don't
be a tough
necessarily see a
one.
collapse in their future.
Yeah, that'd be a tough one.
And so that makes it very difficult to do anything other than keep your fingers crossed that Anthony Davis can stay healthy in the postseason.
What if Damian Lillard made noise, wanted out? Anthony Davis for Damian Lillard? Does that make sense
It
to
would
you?
be that level of trade.
Right, and it's something that I just don't see happening because, to your point, it's got to match salaries and you got to come as close to matching talent as you can. I don't know that Damian Lillard. First of all, I'm not sure Portland's done in this first round yet. Okay, I'm really not sure they're done.
It's everyone wants Dame somewhere else.
I got it, and I don't know that he wants to be somewhere else, but that would be the kind of a thing, right?
Yes.
I mean, you get another one?
It would be that level.
Bradley Beal doesn't make sense. What about Russ Westbrook?
I think I would hold on and keep my fingers crossed of that AD just because you're getting potential extra 4 or 5 years.
So that one I would almost inquire into, and here's why. The availability piece. I look at it and I believe Anthony Davis. I think he's a little younger. I think Anthony Davis is a more dominant player than Russell Westbrook is. Now, can Russell Westbrook and LeBron James coexist? That's probably right.
Yes. But the only problem I'd have with Russ in that situation, then you have your 2 go-to players are not great shooters.
Okay, are they now? I mean,
you're more efficient and you get a bigger impact of. I think when Anthony Davis, when he's on playing his game like we saw in Game 2 and 3, is a bigger impact than when Russell Westbrook is on, because Russ would be doing the same exact thing LeBron would be.
Yeah, and that's where. They're a lot of the same things, and that's why this works. And so is it a big? I just don't know where it is, and maybe they don't give up on it. Maybe they at some point where's it a trend? You got to have that guy. You won a championship when he was healthy last year.
So it works.
It works. And you just say, all right, we're going to run it back. LeBron's 37. We're just going to – and bottom line, it's going to be whatever LeBron wants, right? And what does LeBron want? He would have loved a Chris Paul. What did Chris Paul sign with Phoenix? He signed a long-term deal?
It wasn't a long-term deal.
Was it more than one?
It was. I think it was a trade.
So does he have time left on his deal? Because if that's the case – And I'll look that up, and we'll let you know when we come back. 505-246-0610 is how to get to us, 888-922-0610.
Do you want to be an MVP late in your career? You can be an MVP today. And with F45 Functional Fitness, it allows you all the tools you need to be successful in your everyday life. You're going to feel good. You're going to get healthier. And that's going to have that trickle-down effect to everything you're doing. With F45, it can be that extra push that you need. Maybe take it up a notch. Get to that next level. If you're looking to lose maybe an extra 5 to 10 pounds, F45 training is the gym for you. Fast, fun, results-driven workout, high-intensity training, which can push you to that point, can help you get to that next level, lose those extra few pounds with the circuit training that they have. I absolutely love this gym. In 45 minutes, you're going to get yourself a fantastic workout. We're talking 500 to 800 calories, depending on the workout you're doing, and can be more with how you push yourself in the workout. So check them out at f45training.com. Download the F45 app, which I love. It's right there on your phone. You can sign up for your 7-day free trial. Look at the schedule of classes. They have classes available 7 days a week, so you can find one that works for you. When you book your class, that's a big thing for me, is booking the class so I know it's on my schedule. Not maybe I'll go to the gym. We'll see if I'll have time. No, I book it. I make time for it, and the little reminder pops up an hour before the class going, hey, you got your workout, and you're ready to go. So check them out at f45training.com. Download the app today. Certified trainers there in class help motivate and modify. The atmosphere is awesome, and it can help push you just a little bit harder to get those few extra pounds off that you might need to lose after redshirt season. Raise your hand. Maybe it's just me, but F45 training has helped me get to that point, and the gym is fantastic, and you're going to enjoy it. Team training, life-changing. I'll see you at F45.
That boy's well hit to left. Coming in on it is Morrison. He drops it, and the Ravens win it.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspets.com.
Datacom is the manufacturer's representative for the states of Arizona and New Mexico. Datacom represents Fuji Electric for uninterruptible power systems and Layer Zero for static switches and power distribution units. High-Tech Power Protection manufactures dynamic rotary UPS systems up to 3.6 megawatts, individual and 100 megawatts by combining multiple units. Call Louis Ruffin today at 505-507-7722 or go to datacom.com to learn more.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. There at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Here at Legacy, we are here to disciple people by helping them connect with God, grow in relationships, and live generously.
Yeah, Chris Paul's still under contract next year. He'll only make $44.2 million. I don't know how they survive. $44.2 million next year. He's making $41.3 this year. 4 years, $160 million contract. Kind of Bobcat money, isn't it? Yeah, Bob, you should take tomorrow off. Maybe give some of that money back. I'm just, it's just me. See the big lottery for vax and get money? Yeah. The Mexico lottery. If you're vaccinated, you can. They're going to give some people some big money.
Yeah, it's. Oh gosh, the other place across the hall here was talking about it as I was coming in. It's like $10 million total.
Yeah, there $10 million in cash prizes to New Mexicans who have been vaccinated. They'll award $250,000 to one winner in each of the state's 4 public health regions every week for 5 weeks in June and July. The first drawing is tentatively scheduled for next week. Grand prize will be $5 million, and that'll go out in August. Huh?
And you have to opt in.
Yes. Well, as you should.
Well, yeah. So if you don't opt in, you don't have a chance.
That's correct.
And the odds are a whole lot better than most of the lottery games.
Of course they are.
So, roll those dice.
Yeah.
But you have to opt in. And do you have the website there?
I'm looking for it.
Okay.
It should be right here. And I can't. Yeah. Vax to the Max website.
And that's Vax, V-A-X?
To T-H-E-M-A-X.
Okay.
Vax to the Max. You got it? V-A-X to T-H-E-M-A-X.
Is that the numeral 2 or the word 2?
I don't know. That doesn't work for me, though. So I don't know. I'll find it for you.
Okay.
Yeah, that obviously did not work.
What do you think about Anthony Davis for Brandon Ingram and Lonzo Ball?
It's very funny. Wasn't that kind of the trade? Mm-hmm. There was somebody else in there, wasn't there? You think New Orleans would take him back?
Like so.
That's how they got him.
What do you think?
Would the Lakers be better off right now with Lonzo Ball and Brandon Ingram than they? Well, they're healthy, so their ability would be. They'd be able to play.
The game set match moment is they did win an NBA championship, but now it's
that's right.
Are you gonna get? Can you even get 2 with where LeBron is and Anthony Davis? It's like every other year something ends it for him.
Well, so it's really interesting. Does that make the trade? Did you win the trade because you won one championship, or was this to win more than one championship?
It was to win more than one.
I think that's right, but you won one, right? So I think you won the trade. I mean, you won a championship.
But do Laker fans even take that championship? It's been weird this year.
It's really weird, right? Okay, so my brother's a Laker fan. I grew up a Laker fan. And it's the most conflicted I've ever been as a fan. I grew up a fan, but I'm not a fan of this team. I'm not. And does that make me not a fan? I don't know. I told my brother last year when they had Dwight Howard and is that what's missing from this team? Dwight Howard.
What was this? You could so root for that Lakers team. Dwight Howard, LeBron James.
Right. It was just a hard team for me to root for. And it's tough. JT, how you living?
How's it going?
What's
My
up,
favorite
JT?
people.
Good to hear you. What's happening?
As a lifelong Laker fan, I'm kind of conceding, Jeff.
Are you?
I'm kind of conceding. I mean, man, if you look at last year and this year, to win a championship, you need some luck, but you also need very timely shooting, and then the luck is the health part where you need to be healthy. In the bubble, everything kind of came together, right?
Yeah.
So, but what I was afraid of with Anthony Davis, and I was trying to just ignore it and know he's going to be with us for 10 10 years, we're going to start building a team around him when LeBron retires. But what I was afraid of is rearing its ugly head, okay? I'm not thinking that he's going to be with us too much longer. This year, our supporting cast is not hitting their shots. People forget the guys we lost from the bubble, from that bubble team. We lost some pretty important people.
Dwight Howard, Rajon Rondo, JaVale McGee, like
the shooter for the 76ers, the one that played for the Spurs, his name escapes me.
Danny Green. Yeah, that's legit. You had a shooter, Danny Green.
Yeah, see, so it's just kind of hard for me to believe, we may pull this next game out, but even with Anthony Davis coming back, it's good. We still don't have, the shooters aren't hitting their shots. It's just clank, 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 clank every time down. So, man, I hate it. But, man, I don't know how we're going to get out of this.
Hey, JT, let me ask you. JJ asked this question. So, do Lakers fans consider last year's championship? Like, how do you feel about that? Is this just this is a Laker team, or do you feel different about this Laker team than the ones that you grew up with?
Oh yeah, I feel different.
Yeah.
You know, this Laker team doesn't seem. Well, where's Harrell? I don't know. Where did they decide not to use him? Has anybody seen him?
Yeah, he played the fourth quarter when it didn't matter yesterday. Yeah, he sits on the bench.
Like, what are we doing? You know, I mean, I don't understand it. But the bottom line is the problems that I just explained to you.
Yeah, no,
you got to have luck. You got for the injuries. You got to have shooters hitting at a timely. You know, so it's and then Davis. I'm worried that we're not going to have him because it just seems like I guess he's injury prone. I don't know. I didn't see it when he was with the Pelicans.
JT, where are you? Like there's this weird sound. Are you underwater? Where are you?
Oh, I'm a truck driver. You know I'm on a road.
I know you are. So that's
I'm on a 2-lane highway way in the south of Albuquerque.
Right on.
I mean, south of New Mexico. But man, I'm pissed. I'm worried. I'm hell bent. But I'm trying to be nice to everybody. So
I appreciate it.
I gotta go.
Be safe, man.
I gotta see DOT here in a minute. So
all right.
You guys take care.
Later. So Andre Drummond was supposed to be. I know they got him late, but what Dwight Howard was, he's not. Dennis Schroeder was supposed to be better than Danny Green, right?
Yes,
but he's not.
Schroeder's been the biggest disappointment.
Who else did he tell me he's gone? I mean, it's interesting the impact Rondo made because that's just not there.
He's a creator, and Rondo, by the way, is actually pretty efficient in the shots that he takes now. If you watch him play, and so they don't have that second unit presence, that creator that Rondo was, and also this team. It's all about the defense, and you can't play to that level without Anthony Davis. Because when Anthony Davis was like, all right, I'm going to play the 5. What you get from him offensively, and then how good they are defensively, they're able to switch and be a presence on the perimeter. That's what you saw.
So
last year when they won the championship,
I think they're going to find a way to win Game 6. I don't know how, and I have no idea why I think that. I mean, I watched what we watched last night. It was garbage. I think LeBron goes bonkers, and then it's going to put me in Saturday or Sunday for Game 7, and Anthony Davis is going to try to come back and start and not be able to finish, and they lose in a close one in Game 7. It's kind of it's where I've landed on this.
That would be impressive. As I have zero faith in this Lakers team right now.
Yeah,
yes, he's that dude, but I think that dude is taking his first round loss.
There's part of me that thinks that too, and I understand why you think that, and it will not surprise me certainly. What I watched last night was a team on one side, a team that's clicking, that's relatively healthy. Chris Paul is a veteran leader who went down with a shoulder injury, and I think that is a big piece. But I think they can win without him, and I don't think the Lakers can win without Anthony Davis. I think with Booker and Ayton and with Payne, I thought Cameron Payne has been terrific for them. And just the pieces that they've got. Crowder. How good's Crowder been?
He's been exactly what you need out of him in his role. is to just be the presence. He doesn't need to shoot threes because that's actually what the Lakers want him to do. And we're also seeing that it's a teetering moment. We got bad LeBron James last night at the end of the game. Leaving the court with 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, okay, so is that what happened? Because I tuned out. I was watching the other game. And then I came back, and they showed me everybody on the bench. They showed me faces of Vogel, and they showed me Kuzma, and they showed me and I'm like, how are they not showing LeBron? And then you look at where
what does that do?
So he left the bench? Like
we're sitting here talking about leadership and going off, who's going to be the guy to bring the team together. And you walk off with 5 minutes to go.
So he just left. He went to the locker room. I'm not hanging out with these fools anymore.
Like that, we got bad LeBron James.
Is that what that was? He just I'm not hanging out with these
bad
fools.
LeBron last night.
Wow.
In terms of, unfortunately,
okay,
far too many times.
So spin that for me. Help me. I'm listening. I'm going to be open. The pro LeBron angle on that is what?
I don't.
No, but even if you don't subscribe to it, what is the pro LeBron? Did he go for?
It would be what at that point. What does it matter?
There are the rest of your damn team's sitting there. What does it matter?
Still there. Like, yeah, you're getting blued out the belt, but you don't walk out with 5 minutes
so I'm
to go.
putting on my team.
It's one thing if you want to walk straight to the locker room and the game's over because it's still a playoff series and you're not going to go shake everyone's hands.
Yeah.
With 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, it's the roller coaster ride that LeBron has had in his career. The moments of greatness and then the moments of, what are you doing?
I meant to ask you that because I flipped around. I was dealing with some stuff in the house. I was watching the other game. Went over and watched some election coverage and came back, and all they were showing me were faces on the bench.
Like, you don't.
And the one I wanted to see was LeBron.
Like, everyone would get it if you're just sitting there,
pissed,
like just glaring at everyone. Like, what is this bleep? Like, let's go. But what
was he injured?
Going to the locker room with 5 minutes left do nothing. It just makes it worse.
505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Yeah, that's curious. Hey, kind of good to be out again, huh? Crowds. You had a Memorial Day weekend. Maybe you went and did stuff. You went to a game, went to the lake, went to the theater, went to a park, a party. It's good to be out living and loving and feeling good again, isn't it? Gentlemen, are you ready? You feeling well? If not, I suggest you call New Mail, Feel Like You Again. If you are dealing with some natural things like fatigue, low T, or erectile dysfunction, there's a place right here in Albuquerque that can help you. New Mail is the trailblazer in men's health. They have been for years, and they will help. 505-652-1688, or visit New Mail, that's NUMALE.com, and you'll feel better. I know you know this. As men age, things like hair loss, weight gain, even ED happen. Good chance that you're going to be affected. It's nothing to be ashamed about. In fact, the only thing to be embarrassed of is if you don't do anything about it, especially when there's something to do. Do something. Call New Mail at 505-652-1688. That's 505-652-1688. New Mail is right here in Albuquerque. Comfortable process. But the best part about the whole thing is the results are absolutely real. It works, and men all over the country are benefiting. Call New Mail at 505-652-1688 or visit newmail.com and feel better.
Here at Legacy, we are here to disciple people by helping them connect with God, grow in relationships, and live generously.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspet.com.
A rogue virus, no jobs, sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Calling all football players, are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work. Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for aspiring football players at all levels. Whether you're looking to increase your speed, gain strength, or hone your skill, we train all positions with a team of experienced coaches who know what it takes to succeed at all levels from Yaffle to college. Check us out at 8gradys.com to learn more and sign up for training today.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green and keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspet.com.
Next in line.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Drive, Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck, Micah. Josh produces for you today over on the ProView Network side, where you can watch the show worldwide on ProViewNetworks.com or statewide at Comcast Channel 26.
Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show.
Good morning and welcome to the Sports Desk live on Comcast Channel 26.
Welcome to The Point with Nick Rich.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 10, America Talking Out.
I'm Pastor Flora Padilla of Mending Broken Hearts.
Welcome to Henry T. Game Face Live, Comcast 26, and Big Bad ProView Network.
Animal. I knew that a little bit of conversation about what head coaching vacancies may arise in the National Basketball Association coming out of this season. I think a lot of it, we really kind of focused on Greg Popovich, on whether or not he might retire. And then I've asked the question a lot about Brad Stevens. Would he be in trouble in Boston? It's the opening drive, Jeff Siembieda and JJ Buck. Well, Brad Stevens is not in trouble in Boston, but they may be looking for a coach. Danny Ainge is reportedly stepping down, or at least seriously considering stepping down as the head of basketball operations and the president of basketball operations in Boston. And Adrian Wojnarowski is reporting this morning that it could be Brad Stevens, the coach, who would step into that role that Danny Ainge has had. Ainge is 62 and might be done with it, and word is that Stevens might be burnt out on the coaching end.
What a turn of events in Boston. Brad Stevens was the chosen one.
Boy, I wonder.
He was the future.
Yeah.
When we were sitting there going, yeah, you have your Greg Popovich, you have your longtime coaches in this league, and Eric Spoelstra in the Eastern Conference, what he was able to do with LeBron and company. And then it was Brad Stevens building this Celtics group up, coming into his own, seeing what they did. Now Jason Tatum emerging. You got Jaylen Brown. What in the world happened to the Boston Celtics?
They didn't win. They didn't win a championship. I mean, honestly.
How quickly that Brad Stevens is changing roles. And so what is happening is Danny Ainge, he's just laid out a step away. So Brad Stevens will move into that role. And Boston will be looking for a new head coach. This is crazy.
It is crazy. It is crazy.
And that's a very, very interesting landing spot for someone. Because you get Jason Tatum, you Jaylen Brown back next year.
You know,
the franchise
Kemba Walker.
Good job with assets. Not too shabby.
Kemba Walker is still there, right?
Yep.
Now he missed 29 games this year. Marcus Smart's going into the final year of his contract there. I mean, you've got pieces. Look, the East has become. It used to be go to the East and build a team and you can win. And I think everybody figured that out. And so now you've got a lot of good teams in the East. Brooklyn's not going anywhere. I think Milwaukee's good. Obviously, Philadelphia is good. Boston was on the precipice for the last 3 years.
That team, Jason Tatum.
They're one piece away, right? Or do you think they're enough when they're healthy? Tatum and Brown
healthy. They're scratching the
Tatum, Brown, and Kemba Walker.
Philadelphia, Milwaukee.
Okay, yeah, it feels okay. Yeah, I and they're young and they're going to get better. Tatum, Brown, and Kemba Walker is a nice trio. It's a really nice trio. And Tatum can dominate. I don't know if people have been watching him play.
50?
Yeah. I don't know if people have been watching how good he has become. Who got drafted right before him in the draft? And I remember looking at it and going, "What are we doing here?"
Might have been Lonzo Ball.
Was it Lonzo Ball? I think it might have been Lonzo Ball at 2, right? Who's number 1 that year? Because I remember that draft going, and I'm thinking, man, Tatum is your guy. Tatum is your guy, and he slipped the 3 because was that the Zion year? Because didn't Danny Ainge make a trade down? He had all those picks, and he still got Jason Tatum at 3.
Give me one.
Yeah, no, and you look at it, and I remember that going down. I'm thinking, Tatum, I love what he, I think he's going to be.
It's worse if you're the Philadelphia 76ers.
All right, so, yeah, because they traded to get Marquise Fultz.
Yes. So
that's what it was.
Fultz, Lonzo Ball, Jason Tatum.
So it's worse if you're both of them. I mean, with all due respect.
Oh, yeah, Jason Tatum is the best player out of that trio. And, oh, by the way.
And Philly traded up because that was the Celtics pick. Philadelphia traded up to number 1 to take Marquise Fultz instead of Jason Tatum. Oh,
can you imagine
think of Philly right now with Jason Tatum and that team. Do you think the process would have worked then?
Yes.
Oh, that's right. I mean, how's that work? Who went after that? Who was 4, 5, 6?
5 was good. De'Aaron Fox went 5 to Sacramento.
Mm-hmm. Who was 4?
Josh Jackson.
I don't even know who that is.
He's out of Kansas.
Okay.
He's finished the season in Detroit.
All right, doesn't matter. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was one that Donovan Mitchell.
Where'd he go?
13th overall.
13th.
Drafted by the Nuggets, traded to Utah. Bam Adebayo, 14th overall.
All right. But, I mean, the gem of that draft is number 3.
Yes.
Number 3. And everybody thought Lonzo was going to be the guy. Lakers were just so infatuated with Lonzo. What if the Lakers would have picked Jason Tatum, for crying out loud? Now, they wouldn't have Anthony Davis.
No, they wouldn't have Jason Tatum.
Well, they might have traded Jason Tatum for Anthony Davis. Yeah. New Orleans would be really good. I think the ones kicking themselves is Philly. Just going, what the hell did we do here?
Swing and a miss.
What did we do? I mean, that and Anthony Bennett are the two worst first-round picks since Michael Olowokandi. Right? They've got to be. Anthony Bennett was horrible. Out of UNLV, he went to Cleveland, correct? Just whiff.
Yeah. Especially if you go back to 90. 98 was Michael Olowokandi. At least you got players after that. Like, you're not talking Hall of Famers, but Elton Brand, Kenyon Martin. I don't want to say anything bad about Kwame Brown because he's trying to destroy people right now. Yao Ming, LeBron James, Dwight Howard. Like, you got players. That's number one at least.
All right, so that's what's going on. Celtics are blowing things up, it looks like, at the top. 505-246-0610. Sebastian will be with us at 9 o'clock on the opening drive on ProView Networks and 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
Wendy's Frosticino is cold brew.
Imitated, never duplicated. Welcome to Local Focus with Sebastian Noel.
Welcome, sports fans. It's that time of the week again. You are watching the Weekly Rundown.
Hey, welcome to Red Menace TV here on ProView Network.
Hello, I'm Steve Davis. You are watching Public Access TV.
Center fielder, Caden Bell on first. Here's the pitch to Heath. Struck him out. And great pitching by Alvarado. That'll do it for the Tigers in the top of the fifth.
A great crowd for a mid-afternoon game. Swing and a miss, and there's a strikeout, number 5 for Matt Romero.
Smith talking to the batter here. That's a, oh, wow. Nice, and that's an out.
What did I tell you? That gets over the head of the right fielder. That's going to bring in 2 runs. As Adrian Martinez with the RBI double.
Towards the latter part. Pitch, and that's another way for a single. That's going to score 2. That makes the score 9-0. So RBI double. That's going to make it. That's it. It's 10 runs there.
1-0's the count. And this one's high. It's going deep. And it's going to fall in. He's digging for third, and he gets there. Ezra Mestas with the 3-bagger. He gets the triple, and 2 more runs scored.
Steal to third base.
He brought the hot sauce for strike 3.
Small ball team for Reed Fiegel this year. That one is hit on the line to left. It's going to send Avila back to the warning track, to the wall, and he's going to watch it go. It's a solo homer off the bat of Bo Kidd. One nothing Eagles. Just when we were talking about small ball, the Eagles play long ball. Put over with 2 outs here. That boy's well hit to left. Coming in on it is Morrison. He drops it, and the Ravens win it.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're #1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or
Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspet.com.
Datacom is the manufacturer's representative for the states of Arizona and New Mexico. Datacom represents Fuji Electric for uninterruptible power systems and Layer 0 for static switches and power distribution units. High-Tech Power Protection manufactures dynamic rotary UPS systems up to 3.6 megawatts, individual and 100 megawatts by combining multiple units. Call Louis Ruffin today at 505-507-7722 or go to datacom.com to learn more.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. They're at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever, no one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Isotopes got beat again last night, JJ. They dropped 5 of 6 to the Skeeters. I think they've dropped 10 of 12 to them, and they're off today. You know why? Because it's Wednesday, Robert Cat. No games on Wednesdays this year. Back home, they get the Aviators in town on Thursday. Josh Sushan will crack the microphone at 6:15 from beautiful Isotopes Park, and you'll be able to enjoy that. The Bill says, Jeff, I feel sorry for Sushan. You feel sorry for Josh?
No.
Quick, no thought about it.
Like, it's incredibly enjoyable when you're in a broadcast of that capacity to win, but it's still incredibly enjoyable to have that opportunity to call baseball game.
He says, yeah, he's getting a paycheck again after being unemployed for a year and a half, so that's got to feel nice, although he was working for the University of Nevada at Reno doing women's basketball and baseball. He says, but it has to be tough to make the broadcast interesting when the club he's calling is coming off a series where they average 4.5 hits a game. They were lucky to get 1 of 6 games. This team needs to improve a lot to get up to the level of mediocrity. Mediocrity is 12-12, like the Vegas Stars will be in tomorrow. Yeah, they're struggling. They're what did we say the other day? They're just not very good.
They'd be bad.
Gus says Albuquerque's baseball team is in a world of hurt, Jeff. There are only 2 clubs in the PCL who have scored less than 140 points. The Chihuahuas at 108, and Albuquerque's baseball team with 87. When Vic Schaefer comes on, maybe you can ask him, at what point does he make a change in his offensive coordinator? They got, what did they beat, 3-2 last night?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, they're not good. I'm not sure where, what more to tell you.
It's not going to be a good year for the Colorado Rockies organization.
They're 7-17. You're 10 games under 500, and you've played like a few weeks. I like reading Kevin's notes because he's got hey, Ryan Valade recorded a multi-hit game, contributing 2 of the Isotopes' 3 hits on the night. They got 3 hits last night. Okay. Yeah, they're not that good. That's how it is, boys and girls. That's how it is. More painful, Gopher wants to know, the Lakers' performance last night or JT's phone? Probably Lakers' performance. Although,
while it was very, are you in an aquarium?
Yeah.
At least you could hear him.
Yeah, we've had way worse phones than that. All right, Belmont coming up this weekend. Jeff, since Bobcats on load management the rest of the week, maybe we can get his picks. You got a pick for the Belmont Stakes? As predicted, most of the hyped horses that bloated the Derby field to 20 are now in the transfer portal. Maybe Ray rode one of them out of Dream Style Field on Saturday.
I'll take that horse to win the Belmont.
There will be a svelte 8 horses going the 1.5 miles at Belmont. You got a pick for the Belmont?
Not a clue.
Yeah, you're on load management though the next 2 days, right?
Yes, I am.
You see, that's what happens. Strauss gets him all the time. We get him, periodically. He's like Kawhi.
No, I'll give you interviews.
So will Kawhi.
Okay.
So will Kawhi. I don't have time to get into that, but I kind of do. Somebody brought it up earlier. The Naomi Osaka stuff. I've heard some of the worst takes. Wherever you want to go on this, whatever you think, I've seen it now go into, well, maybe NBA players or NFL players shouldn't have to give interviews for a year. Let's see how that goes. That's not what this is about. But I've heard some of the worst takes about, and I don't know if David's is one of the worst because I've heard way worse than his yesterday about how she's just playing the system. She needs to toughen up. People don't understand mental health issues, and we dealt with a crisis in my home last night with mental health. Not my family specifically, thank goodness, but that someone close to us. Mental health is real. Like if you think just because you're making a lot of money and you get a lot of fame, you got nothing to worry about, you are so mistaken. And at the rate people are taking their lives and other people's lives and hurting themselves and hurting others, to not at least give the thought to what Naomi Osaka is going through might actually be real, I think it is at the least irresponsible and on the other side reprehensible.
There's far too many people that think I immediately have to take the other side. With these issues, whatever you're talking about, you want to take a step back and try to look at the whole picture, but there are far too many people that immediately thought that she was just trying to play the game, she was trying to avoid taking responsibilities for struggling and not showing up in big moments, as opposed to, all right, let's see what this is all about. And then when you started to read more into it, hear stories of things that she went through coming off that victory in 2018. So it wasn't just, oh, I had a bad experience after a bad performance with some reporters. It was kind of a buildup of taking this all on and the burden of being a young athlete that's won a major, that just beat Serena Williams, everything that comes with that. And there's a lot of pressure and there's things you need to deal with. And I think the way that we're now seeing the French Open and other tournaments react is they realized that they took the wrong stance initially. This wasn't a way for her to just avoid responsibility. This wasn't a way for all of these athletes just to cop out from talking to reporters. And I think she made that statement by saying, all right, I will pull out. I will not be a distraction. And to me, that shows you that what she was saying, what she was trying to get across was real.
We're going to get into this a little bit more later. Sebastian is going to be with us next. We'll talk to Sebastian Noel from ProView Networks. We'll get into high school stuff. Ron Murphy becoming the all-time winningest coach in high school baseball history. Also, Sebastian called the Gladiators contest for ProView over the weekend. We'll talk to him about that as well. It's the opening drive that's coming up next on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Here at Legacy, we are here to disciple people by helping them connect with God, grow in relationships, and live generously.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspet.com.
A rogue virus, no jobs, sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Calling all football players, are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work. Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for aspiring football players at all levels. Whether you're looking to increase your speed, gain strength, or hone your skill, we train all positions with a team of experienced coaches who know what it takes to succeed at all levels from Yaffle to college. Check us out at 8gradys.com to learn more and sign up for training today.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green and keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspet.com.
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. This is the opening drive with 2-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Siembieda, and JJ Bond.
Ron Murphy is at the top of the mountain. That's what it says right here on my sports page. Congratulations to Rio Rancho's baseball coach. Won his 582nd game as head coach, as a head baseball coach of the state, which is now the new record and building on it. He's been doing it since 1998. Yesterday, the Rams beat Volcano Vista 21-3 to put Coach Murphy over the top. Former Bloomfield and Navajo Prep coach John Gutierrez held the mark at 581. Jim Johns, the longtime El Dorado coach, at 552. So those are the top three. But that's quite the accomplishment and something that they built out there. They built a tremendous program and tradition. It's the opening drive. Jeff Siembieda and J.J. Buck. I start thinking, so what's on a regular season? You're winning 20-something games, a good season in high school baseball? I mean, you start putting the seasons together. 98 is what, this 23 seasons. I mean, that's, I guess 40 wins a season, right? You're winning baseball games. You're winning championships. And congratulations to him. We'll continue this effort, Sebastian, in our segment here. Trying to get a hold of Sebastian Noel. Now it feels like the old days, huh? Dan just said, whatever happened to the real meal deal? He got a different job, right? Now when someone doesn't show and doesn't let us know, now it feels like the old days, right? Now, Aaron, you could tell him, all right, now it feels like like it used to.
Go to our high school sports correspondent, Aaron.
Aaron's our high school sports correspondent. You're on. All right. I want to continue the conversation on Naomi Osaka and the mental health thing. And I got a text, and Ryan said to me, it's such a difficult topic on so many levels. And we're talking about the mental health thing. And I said, of course it is. But people become... And give me the right word. When they're forced to think outside of their prism, people just they really struggle with it, right? When you're not, in this case, when you're not acquainted with, educated on, familiar with the mental health issue.
And there's still a lot of it goes back to what we've been talking about with athletes. And what can be so bad about your situation?
So, I don't know if you said this at the end of the show yesterday or if it was Jared when he came in. I think this was right. The French Open could have handled this by saying, okay, that's fine. You can continue to play, but we're going to fine you $15,000 a day for each press conference you miss. And I think Naomi Osaka probably would have played, and we would have continued to have this conversation. Should she be fined for that? Should there be an issue? Should she be fined? And it really opened a lot of doors. I've heard so many closed-minded perspectives on this, and we'll get back to this because now Sebastian's here. That was my fear of kind of getting into this. So we'll get back to this. And Aaron kind of is going, yeah, that's how that works. I see the look on your face. Yeah, that's how he rolls. Is that right, man? Do you just roll in when you want to? Because I'm looking at Aaron's face.
No way.
You just roll in when you want to? Is that how that is, Big Dog?
No. That was that other guy. Sorry, that's not me.
I was like, damn, it's like the old days again. All right, I'm good. What's happening? You all right?
Yeah, no, I'm doing great.
We wake you up?
No, of course not.
All right. Because I mean, I know how I am before I get my egg McMuffin in the morning, so I can only imagine. Hey, I want to touch base with you on a couple of things, and obviously yesterday Ron Murphy becoming the all-time winningest coach in state baseball history. This isn't just a longevity mark. You know, there's some places, some marks where if you stick around long enough, you're going to hit it. This is as much quality as it is quantity.
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, if you think about what he's had to compete with, Jeff, I mean, Jeff, you've been around long enough. The decade or so of how good La Cueva was, El Dorado was. Yep. There's always teams that are good. So it's not like, it's definitely not a longevity mark because baseball is very competitive in the state or especially the city. So this is a big accomplishment.
No, I think the programs, and I think what Rio Grande has been over the last decade and a half, what La Cueva's been since the day I got here, what El Dorado's been since I got here, and what Cleveland has been able to do at times, Rio Rancho, Carlsbad. I think of great baseball programs throughout the state, and I look at the numbers, and I was trying to, I guess I could just pull out my calculator, but when you look at 20, what are we looking at, 23 years of doing this? It's pretty amazing, the quality, but how long he's been able to do it and the players he's been able to put out.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And he's always kind of done it the right way. I know that's a cliche, but, his teams they all know how to bunt. They're all, they play small ball. They're fundamentally sound. It was funny. It was during the game where he tied the record, and I know Coach is a huge Mets fan. And so I was reading off all the Mets managers that have been in charge of the New York Mets since he's been a varsity baseball coach.
How many was that? Like 100?
I think like 14.
It's stupid.
So he started. The first manager was Bud Harrelson. Bud Harrelson was managing the Mets when he started varsity at the varsity level of coaching.
I remember Bud Harrelson playing shortstop for the Mets, and I don't remember him as a manager of the Mets. That's crazy. That's how good that's been. That's how good it's been out there. How good's this team this year?
It's very good. It's very good. It's got probably, I would say, the best outfield defense in the state. It's got some nice arms. It's a very good team. I mean, it's, you can't be undefeated and not have a really good team. So yeah, and he's got more than just one or two arms, I think. So he could get through that whole Johnny Holstaff phenomenon we were talking about a couple of weeks ago.
So, Sebastian, if you had to then put the teams behind Rio Rancho, what would a top 5 look like right now?
That's a great question. I would say I'm always accused of having a Metro bias, and justifiably so. But I would say Rio Rancho 1, Sandia 2, La Cueva 3. Then I'd put in Cleveland at 4. And that 5 spot, that's tough.
You know, with Sandia at number 2 spot, they got the best pitcher in the state. Do they have enough pitching beyond that to make the run? I mean, because it's always when do you throw your stud? Yeah, he's that good. And I've just been watching some of the stuff that he's doing. It's amazing. Do they have enough depth behind him to make a run at it?
Well, they definitely have 2 arms, Jeff, because last weekend, you're talking about Jacob Kamat.
Yeah.
He pitched and he gave up a couple of runs. And their second starter, Romero, he pitched, I think, a 2-hitter with 13 strikeouts. So they definitely have 2. Beyond 2, that's when you have to start patching it together. And La Cueva plays at Sandia, a doubleheader on Saturday. I get to call that, so that'll be a lot of fun. I know people have been waiting for that matchup.
Yeah, I may come out and see you. Sebastian Noel from ProView Networks is with us on the opening drive this morning.
And Sebastian, before we move on to the non-high school sports, just in terms of whether it's softball or anything else that's jumping off the page, what has been some of the big headlines since we've last talked to you on Wednesday?
And Ron Murphy's been what's dominating the news really in the prep world this week, it seems like. I know wrestling just concluded. I did not do that 1A track research for Grady, so I apologize.
He did post some videos on his social media yesterday. I was watching Pico's track yesterday. Yeah, I was watching. You called the Gladiators home opener out in Rio Rancho the other day. They got beat by the Sugar Skulls. But just good to have people back in the building. They win their first game in the new league, come home and get beat. What did you see out of the Duke City Gladiators that made you smile a little bit?
I mean, they're definitely in the right league. They can compete in that league. I don't think they're nearly as bad as they look against Tucson. So you take away those early turnovers that Nate Davis threw, and that's a ball game. And Tucson's a very good team. So that's just in terms of background. Kevin Guy, who coaches the Arizona Rattlers, he owns that Tucson team. So that Tucson is projected to be a very, very good football club. So, I mean, and the product is as good as it ever has been. The receivers out there are phenomenal. They've added to that. So, I mean, there's a lot to like. It's a long season. I mean, anyone who had visions of them going undefeated in this new league and just boat racing everyone to the championship, that was unrealistic. That's not going to happen. There's a lot of parity in the IFL.
Yep.
Yeah, Sebastian, I got to believe that's exciting for the franchise as well. I had the opportunity to talk with Nate Davis last week and just the mindset the players had, hearing a lot of chirping back and forth about their talent level. Do they belong in the league? But I got to believe even from the front office down to the players, this is a very exciting opportunity and chance to grow the franchise.
Absolutely. I mean, because I think you're going to see over the year and the next couple of years, there might be a little bit of tinkering. There might be, and some of the guys you can bring in here in this new league, it's very exciting. And you know, it's still a great product to go see as a spectator. I know you guys have been out. And, you know, if you ever get Nate on the golf course, Jeff, man, he can hit it.
Is that right?
Oh, man, off the tee.
How's the short game?
Yeah, you know. It needs work. But, you know, who doesn't?
No, that's right. But it is good. It is fun to watch a big, long drive. Now, J.J. Buck hits it pretty good off the tee. Now, sometimes it may go a little far to the right, but he can grab it too now. It's whose short game does need a little help. All right, man.
That's right.
Appreciate you spending some time with us. ProView Networks, what do you got this week? What should people be looking for?
That big doubleheader Saturday. We mentioned La Cueva and Siembieda. Actually, I have a pretty cool thing we did on my show this week, which you can check out, Local Focus on YouTube. We have Nate Hasbury and Trey Watson, two of the Cleveland kids, came in for kind of a breakdown of the 5A championship. We did this a couple of years ago where we had the two coaches in, Zach Cole and Adrian Ortega, and we kind of went through the game and they broke down segments and everything. And I thought that would be fun to do with players, so we did it this year with players. And so we have Inside the 5A Championship on my show. You can just search ProView Network's Local Focus.
Let me give you one more who can hit it. Played with Sean Jimenez, Cleveland's basketball coach the other day.
Oh, yeah, all the time. You know.
He can pump it. He's got that Sim 1 driver that he likes to hit. And when he gets dialed in, it goes for a while.
That's our putter. That's our putter guy on our scramble team, you know.
Yeah. Yep.
There's two things he can do. Sean Jimenez can do. He can drive it. He can putt it. Well, and he loves free golf. So, you know,
who does it? It's like beer. What's your favorite beer? Well, free. Free golf is pretty nice too. All right, man. We'll catch up with you next week. I may try to get out there Saturday and see you at that Siembieda doubleheader as well. But enjoy the week and thanks for spending some time with us.
Sounds good, boys.
All right, see you. Sebastian Noel from ProView Networks. I didn't even tell you that. Sean Jimenez, the state championship coach. Boy, he can hit the golf ball. It's the opening drive. Stay there if you're on the phone. We'll get to you next on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
Next in line.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Drive, Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck. Micah, Josh produces for you today over on the ProView Network side, where you can watch the show worldwide on ProViewNetworks.com or statewide on Comcast Channel 26.
Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show. Good morning and welcome to Sports Desk Live on Comcast Channel 26.
Welcome to The Point with Nick Rich.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 10, America Talking Out.
I'm Pastor Flora Padilla of Mending Broken Hearts.
Welcome to Henry T. Game Face Live, Comcast 26, and Big Bad ProView Network.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Welcome to Local Focus with Sebastian Noel.
Welcome, sports fans. It's that time of the week again. You are watching the Weekly Rundown.
Hey, welcome to Red Menace TV here on ProView Network.
Hello, I'm Steve Davis. You are watching Public Access TV.
Center fielder, Caden Bell on first. Here's the pitch to Heath. Struck him out. And great pitching by Alvarado. That'll do it for the Tigers in the top of the fifth.
A great crowd for a mid-afternoon game. Swing and a miss, and there's a strikeout, number 5 for Matt Romero.
Smith talking to the batter here. That's a, oh, wow. Nice, and that's an out.
What did I tell you? That one's that gets over the head of the right fielder. That's going to bring in 2 runs. As Adrian Martinez with the RBI double.
Towards the latter part. Pitch and
That's the other way for a single. That's going to score 2. That makes the score 9-0. So RBI double. That's going to make it. That's it. It's 10 runs there. 1-0's the count. And this one's high. It's going deep. And it's going to fall in. He's digging for third, and he gets there. Ezra Mestas with the 3-bagger. He gets the triple, and 2 more runs scored.
Steal to third base.
He brought the hot sauce for strike 3.
Small ball team for Reed Fiegel this year. That one is hit on the line.
All right, good stuff with Sebastian. If you're just joining us, Danny Ainge is reportedly out as the Celtics are shuffling their front office. Sounds like Brad Stevens, their head coach, is moving into the front office. But Danny Ainge has been there for a long time. He's 62, president of basketball operations. And that's Adrian Wojnarowski, who is almost, and I say almost because I can't think of one time, but never wrong, right?
Yeah. Woj and Shefty usually hitting them out of the park.
Yeah, the two of those guys are pretty damn good. All right, 505-246-0610 if you want to get in. And your emails are Jeff at 610. Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com, JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. I want to finish up the thought on the mental health thing, and I welcome your thoughts on this. I understand. Look, I've been in this business for a lot of years. I've been in however I've been in it in a lot of different forms. I've been in media for a lot of years. I do believe that athletes should be and coaches should be required to speak to the media after games, whatever the established protocol is. I do believe that it benefits the game because it gets the message out to the fans. It creates fans. Look, these games aren't games, the multi-billion-dollar businesses they are, without the media promoting these athletes. It just is what it is. Now, you say, well, they don't just promote them, Jeff. You're right. You get both sides. That's what media does. Is media unfair at times? There's no doubt to me that they are. And I've told you there's been times where I've been embarrassed at some of the stuff the media has done, right? I've been embarrassed at our profession. But I also believe there's exceptions to rules. And as we evolve and the mental health piece has become, and rightfully so, a more prevalent part of conversations, I got to believe that it's time to evolve and have a stipulation for this. The fear is, in our industry, JJ, that the interviews are going to go away, that the access that we need is going to go away, that then LeBron James isn't going to talk every night, or Paul Weir isn't going to talk after every game, or whenever they're losing, they're not going to talk. And maybe that's where that'll go to. I would doubt it. I mean, is a head coach going to be able to claim mental illness after every game? But when you've got a young athlete like this is an anomaly. And I do think that if this goes the way I think it's going to go, there will be more. I don't think it's going to be an epidemic of this. The mental health thing is real. I mean, so let me just draw you a doomsday situation. What if Naomi Osaka has a breakdown because this is real? And I mean, do we feel bad? Does anybody feel bad, or is it nope? Just do your job, shut up, and you're making a lot of money and play.
There's a lot of that when it comes to athletes, and when we're talking about the fan role in a stadium, and then especially when we start talking about things that are happening to athletes, it's to just look at your bank account mentality. Like, you're fine. Look at your bank account. You want real struggle? Step into my shoes. It's like, yes, we are all dealing with things in life. But Naomi Osaka, what she came out and was talking about is that boiling point. Mm-hmm. And she wanted to play tennis. She was ready to go, but she was struggling with some of the pressure and anxieties in the press conference setting. By the way, we're talking about a player that last year put a lot on her shoulders as well when it came to social justice and wearing names of people that have been killed by police on her mask and everything that entails. And so she's been in the ringer. She understands the pressure, and she was just acknowledging there's a lot going on right now. And to me, my first thought wasn't this is a cop-out, this is going to lead to athletes never wanting to talk to the media. I don't think that. And I'm with you. I still believe it serves a role. It helps tell the story of games. It helps the fans get an idea of what's going on. It helps us have those conversations about a game, hearing people in post-game. But this definitely is a moment in which we're going to see not just the Grand Slams in tennis, but I think other events say, all right, how do we manage it if we get to this situation? Because the French Open, instead of immediately coming out and saying, we're going to ban you, you don't want to talk to the media, you don't get to play. It said, all right, what if we start with this smaller media gatherings, maybe say 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, so you can get to some reporters and then build from there.
Or, okay, you don't have to meet the media, but we are fine. There's a fine in place.
It wasn't even a fine. It was just straight up like, you're not playing.
Yeah, I know that. And if they said it was $15,000 a day, then you can go on. I think all that's fair. I don't know what she was ready for. I don't know what she can handle. I don't know any of that. I'm going to tell you there is a place for the media. Social media cannot take the place of traditional media. It can't. I mean, the story can't just be, here's my side of it, and I'm not answering any questions. It can't be that way. It can't be that way in politics. It can't be that way in athletics. It's not that way in life, right? I mean, it's the word media in its own right. Well, I don't know what the true definition is, but when you think of it, it's.
And this is about Naomi.
Right.
This is not her just not wanting to do this. She's speaking on issues that she's had going back a year, 2 years, 3 years.
Let me ask, I guess I would ask the people who think this is, like David yesterday, and because I thought a lot about his call. And I didn't want to just dismiss it as being fill in the blank. Why is it that this can't be real? Why do you just not believe the mental health issues are real? Do you believe that this specific situation, she just doesn't want to talk to the media? And I'll take this a step further. JJ, if you can't handle the pressure of the media, can you handle the pressure of the moment? Right? And I think they're two different things. I think the answer is yes.
Yeah.
I think they're two different anxieties.
Her
yeah.
Play tells you everything you need to know about.
Right. Should they be able to play? And I would tell you yes. There's got to be a way to evolve through this issue that is sensitive to both sides, that is fair. But bottom line is, with all the advancements in mental health that we've made in every other aspect, and we talk about mental health of student athletes in colleges, we talk about mental health of professional athletes all the time, right? We hear it all the time. Does it not? Is the line, well, but mental health doesn't matter. They've got to talk to the media. Can that not be part of it? Cliff, good morning. You're on the opening drive. How are you, Cliff?
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for talking about it again. I called in yesterday.
Yep.
So I think one point you're bringing up is about the money and this and that. And listen, I said yesterday that I've had panic attacks and stuff. It's the performance is not necessarily an issue of money. When you're having a panic attack or you're having a depression or something like that, anything monetary doesn't matter. It makes no sense. You're just trying to figure out whether you want to be in this position or not, whether you want to be in this life or not. And your other question that you're asking is that why should she play or this or that? In my therapy position, I have been told that we do things that put us at ease, that our strengths come out and it buries the anxiety or the depression. So it is a position of what we feel most comfortable with. Whether it be good or bad, we feel most comfortable with that.
So through that, do you learn to feel comfortable in other positions, or is that the only, like if she doesn't feel comfortable in the press conference setting, is that something that your therapy would teach you to feel comfortable in, or would it just tell you to just avoid that, period?
No, I don't think avoidance is ever the thing that they need to tell you, unless it's like, okay, avoid somebody shooting you. or something like that.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, for me, personally, I like to attack situations. I've always been pretty decent about making money, and that's not a statement of arrogance or nothing like that. It's just, that's why I say it's not about the money. It's more of a feast or famine position, if you can understand this, is that when we get struck down so hard with either anxiety or depression, we get into our little personal life and try and figure out what we're going to do. And then it pushes us out, and we're angry, and we want to prove to the world. But then we go back into that little crazy cycle again, and then we come out hopefully stronger, and we try and prove even harder.
I get it. All right, Cliff, I appreciate it. Thanks for the perspective.
Thanks.
All right. Where do you want me to go, Bob? You want me to take the call? I got a break, and I'll come back and take this call. But the perspective's good, and I sent out the back signal, and David's going to come in next, and I appreciate him calling in and talking about the call and just this. It's sensitive, and so many of us, so many of you, so many of all of us have been affected with the mental health issue. So how does it play into sports, and how do you evolve with this? We'll continue this conversation on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
Small ball team for Reed Fiegel this year. That one is hit on the line to left. It's going to send Avila back to the warning track, to the wall, and he's going to watch it go. It's a solo homer off the bat of Bo Kidd. 1-0 Eagles. Just when we were talking about small ball, the Eagles play long ball. Put over with 2 outs here. That boy's well hit to left. Coming in on it is Morrison. He drops it, and the Ravens win it.
DCE Systems want to help schools reopen and keep the students, teachers, and staff safe. We can also help every business reopen and keep their employees and customers safe as well. Don't just disinfect. Novalent antimicrobial technology provides ongoing residual protection against bacteria and viruses and is proven to last up to 90 days. That's right, up to 90 days. Call us today at 505-507-7722 or go to DCESystemsInc.com to learn more. DCE Systems are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're #1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspet.com.
Datacom is the manufacturer's representative for the states of Arizona and New Mexico. Datacom represents Fuji Electric for uninterruptible power systems and Layer 0 for static switches and power distribution units. High-Tech Power Protection manufactures dynamic rotary UPS systems up to 3.6 megawatts, individual and 100 megawatts by combining multiple units. Call Louis Ruffin today at 505-507-7722 or go to datacom.com to learn more.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. There at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
All right, tough conversation, I understand, but it's real, and I've been hearing a lot of different things, and I'm just really trying to take in as much, and I think you are as well, as many different sizes as you can. 505-246-0610. We're talking about the Naomi Osaka situation and mental health issues in sports. David, good morning. Appreciate you calling in. How are you, David?
Good morning. A couple of things. Just to clarify what I was saying, that I ultimately sent a follow-up text for the first time that thing went in to clarify what I said yesterday. I didn't mean to suggest that she was making up any kind of problem that didn't exist by suggesting we're only hearing about this now. And in response, people then said, well, no, she had expression of anxiety before. And my response is, well, yeah, but she kind of talked through it. She did her job. She kind of played the contractual responsibility role by then working through it. In the therapy business, there's compartmentalization, and actors, athletes, from Greg Louganis to whatever, they compartmentalize and they're able to do their job. To the extent that her situation was incapacitating at that moment, then I can understand that that is an acute scenario. But I think she's still pandering for sympathy for public relations, because they're going to say, okay, if you don't do this, we're going to not allow you to play. And sure, her response was, okay, then I'll withdraw. Money not being the issue because she makes plenty of money, she's ultimately pushing the effects, I think, quite irresponsibly by saying, look, this is an issue, and everybody who says, well, it's an issue can say, well, deal with the issue, and we'll help you deal with that issue, but this is part of your job, and you're not allowed to then just say, okay, I'm not going to do this. And imagine Kyrie Irving, or whatever the guy's name is, who was going around for personal days, and all the criticism of Irving saying, look, it's your job. When are you coming back? You're out for a quote-unquote personal day, or that's turning into a personal week, turning into a personal month. And even, Jeff, you were saying, okay, it's your job. Show up. You're supposed to be paid. Where is Kyrie Irving?
Yeah. I that's interesting, David, and I appreciate the call on that. Thank you. So compare. How does that compare?
Making money because she pulled out of the event.
Right. Kyrie Irving was.
And by the way, the Kyrie stuff, the backlash came too when a photo came out and he was at a birthday party.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of when I said, go to work, do your job. I mean, if you're able to go out and do your thing.
It's called a breaking point. But yeah, she could have got to this moment and made it this far. But she has talked about it a lot in interviews and her struggles and her anxiety.
And where's that breaking point? And then what do you do about it? Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I understand his perspective on it. I'm not sure I'm totally there, but I understand it. Paul, good morning.
Good morning. I've been in medical sales for 16 plus years now, and I sympathize with this young lady. She's an amazing talent. But at the same time, let's say a person like myself, in the situation I'm in, no matter how much you produce and these corporate companies you work for, I find myself, because my whole job is based on confidence, and here I am dry heaving and vomiting and not sleeping the night before, and literally just a complete mess, because I have to sit in front of these people and answer these questions, and a lot of them are, some people are negative. They want more and more and more, and you can never make anybody happy. And it's just something you got to bounce back from. And some people can actually do that. I know the only thing that's happened to me is I get stressed out. I've had some heart issues, lost some of my hair, but on the same time, it's how I make my living, and I have to do it.
Let me ask you this, Paul. I got to believe when you get in it, and it was just, having this text conversation with somebody. When you get in the spiral, it's got to be tough to get out of it, right? Because you start living in your own head, and if you're not getting the help, like if whatever and I know every situation is different, right? But once you're in it, whatever that mental stress, mental issue is, it's got to be even tougher to get out of it. And the deeper you go into it, the more that's where you are, right?
Oh, it gets you to a point where you become paranoid, almost to a point where you're struck with anxiety, and you get nervous and you're paranoid, and you're always thinking, you're one step away from being fired, and it's just an overwhelming feeling. And to be able to dig yourself out of that, it takes everything I have. And then sometimes it just burns me out. And that's why I stopped working for corporate companies, and I moved to Albuquerque. And thank God I work for some great people out here, and more of a mom and pop type thing. But it got to a point where it almost destroyed me. I almost died of a heart attack.
I'm glad you found a at least comfortable place, Paul. I appreciate your story. All right, well, be well, man. Thank you. I mean, there you go. It's not just sports. Ryan sent me this note. He says, this is where the individual sport makes it a lot tougher, isn't it? In a team setting, you have your own buffer between the media and the interviews, et cetera, in the form of the SID or the PR people that are on your side. In tennis, if you're not traveling your own publicist, I imagine it's the tournament rep who's in charge of everything. No friendly face there to help walk you through things before, get stuff off your chest, etc. Which is, I'm going to guess she travels her own publicist, although I don't know that for a fact. David brought up an interesting point on the Kyrie thing. Is there a difference? Kyrie just disappeared, right? For basically 3 weeks. And the difference there was he didn't tell his team where he was going. He disappeared.
He just bounced and didn't tell anybody.
Yeah.
And this is Naomi Osaka telling you, so we're able to react a little bit differently.
Yeah.
And that was a lot more assuming going on with Kyrie. And then it pops up, especially at that time, the protocols were still pretty strict when he was bouncing around. He shows up at a birthday party, even if it was personal friends or family members of his. That's where that started to get out of control with Kyrie Irving. It's not this situation where we know it to a T with Osaka, what she said, how the French Open reacted, and now we're at this moment.
Yeah, and I think the other part with Kyrie, he was getting paid $40-something million a year, taking his money, not going to work, and not telling anybody, and not report. I mean, it would feel like if you're getting paid, that you would at least owe your employer the courtesy of letting him know, well, I'm on mental health or I'm on whatever it is. Naomi Osaka's not getting paid unless she performs. So there is a bit of a difference. But David, I do understand your correlation, although I think it's different. Now, is she playing the sympathy card? Look, I don't know her. I don't feel she is. If you feel that way, that's your interpretation of it. We have this conversation all the time. How do athletes rub you? How do you make your impressions of athletes, what they're doing, how they're doing it? So I'm. No, I don't feel that way. I think it's a mental health thing. This is a pretty big thing to play a sympathy card for.
Right. I think that what she did by withdrawing from the tournament, and it tells you that it's real. And she had something that she really needed. It wasn't in the place she needed to be successful moving forward with her tennis. And her escape is playing the game of tennis. Yeah, there's, as you brought up, that's absolutely two different pressures. Being in that moment, competing for Grand Slams versus a press conference. And it might seem wild to some people that the moment that overwhelms her is sitting there answering questions versus playing Serena Williams. But that's what she's dealing with. And now, I think this is a moment, too, where we see other leagues say, all right, we can handle these things better moving forward. What the last caller brought up, too, the individual aspect of it, where you're talking about, definitely puts a whole different pressure on it because you don't have someone that can step up and really speak for you or help take some of that pressure off you. It's all on you. And also, I think a fear is from some of the takes that you've heard on this, and you've addressed it, Jeff, is like this isn't leading because we're addressing Naomi Osaka and how the French Open did not handle it well initially and how leagues handle this. Like, this isn't the floodgate that opens up and athletes are never going to talk to us again. Like, it's not. That's not.
And I don't think that's where the athlete necessarily wants. Well, maybe they do. I'm just going to tell you, if there's no access, rights fees are not going to continue to just climb like they climb. Which means, I mean, how many contracts have we looked at today? The guys are making $44.5 million a year. Where's that coming from? So it is what it is. All right, when we come back, LeBron had to start his treatment early. He couldn't wait another 7 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever it was. That's the explanation from the head coach. Is that right? How you feeling about LeBron leaving the court early? Game's on. 7-something minutes to go in the game. He gone. I'm done with this mess. I don't need this crap. It's the opening drive. Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck, Aaron, and Robert Cat on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Here at Legacy, we are here to disciple people by helping them connect with God, grow in relationships, and live generously.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspet.com.
A rogue virus, no jobs, sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a #1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Calling all football players, are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work. Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for aspiring football players at all levels. Whether you're looking to increase your speed, gain strength, or hone your skill, we train all positions with a team of experienced coaches who know what it takes to succeed at all levels from Yaffle to college. Check us out at 8gradys.com to learn more and sign up for training today.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green and keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
Lakers lose last night, 115-85. They got run out of the valley last night. Blew out the Bills. They were down by 30 in the first half. They lose by 30. LeBron James left the court 5 minutes and 40-ish seconds to go. He walked back to the locker room. Frank Vogels, their head coach, said he had the blessing of the coaching staff. It's the opening drive. Jeff Siembieda and J.J. Buck. What was Frank Vogel going to say? No sit down? Hey, Coach, I'm going back. Get I seen enough of this bleep. Nope. Sit your butt down. What? Who are you talking? I'm the king. Did it last year, Game 3 of the NBA Finals. They were down to Miami, and he walked up, but there was 9.2 seconds to go in that game. I don't know. It felt a little different then, although did it. I'm reading some of this stuff on social media, people taking their shots, which LeBron's a lightning rod, and that's fine. With all due respect, the look is I can't watch this crap anymore. My guys are getting run. They're playing like crap. I can't sit and watch this crap anymore. I mean,
that is indeed the way it looks.
And we've spent a lot of time talking about leaders, and LeBron's a leader. I don't think there's any qualms about LeBron James being a leader. My leader walks off the court. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm sitting there saying that my leader just quit on me in the season.
It's a bad look.
It's
the treatment issue doesn't spin it any better. It's that 15 minutes, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
He's still got his media obligations. Is it really going to make that big of a difference? This is what happens. LeBron has these moments where he doesn't handle things well. Last night was one of them.
I'm looking for, and I asked you this earlier, not that you need to feel this way or you're going to convince me one way or the other, or anybody else. I'm looking for the LeBron apologists, the Edwards of the world, to explain this one to me. Like this is fine because I'm always at fear of jumping. I don't want to be the guy who just jumps on LeBron, okay? And I've really, really been conscious, and I know you've noticed that, I'm not doing that. I think he's an amazing player. I think he's a terrific leader. He's one of the best I've ever seen. But I just don't know. Nobody's perfect. Yeah. But this is like, he did it last year in Game 3. He walked off. Like 9.2 seconds or 5 minutes and 40 seconds.
To me, that is a big difference.
It is. It is. But it's. I don't need to stay around and watch this crap. I'm above this. Let these fools finish it out. Well, if you're part of a team, you're wearing that uniform. You're the leader of that team. If I'm someone else on that team, I'm like, well, if he quit, what am I sticking around for?
This is one where I feel 4 minutes is actually a big moment of time because there's still a couple stoppages, things you're going through. Like if the final 30 seconds are ticking off the clock, you get up, you start walking back, so be it.
Yeah,
but in this case, 5 minutes, that can easily turn into 10 minutes.
Well, yeah, 5 minutes and 40 seconds of game time is 15 minutes of 20 minutes of time.
This is one where, to me, there's no spinning. We got bad LeBron last night. Bad emotional LeBron.
I'm going back to the crossroads thing. Do you think he's seen a crossroads in his career? Do you think he's just going, damn, I don't know that, maybe for the first time I'm not getting a mic? He's probably always thought, like Tiger always thought he was going to get to Jack Nicklaus. Do you think maybe right about now is where he's just going, I'm not getting there?
I don't know that part yet, but I think he's just seeing the moment of just the reality of what this team is. And even him being LeBron James, which he's still a fantastic player at 36 years old. What we saw last night was a blowout. And he's kind of looking around like, if Dennis Schroeder's going to 0 for 9, what else am I supposed to do with this crew right now?
Yeah, how do you look at those guys? And maybe you don't have to, man. Maybe you're a different guy. Maybe you ride in a different bus. Maybe you live in a different hotel. Maybe you eat in a different room. But I'm thinking you've got to at some point sit in the locker room and you're trying to rally these guys. And you're as he says, my guys got to. At some point, your guys got to look at you and just go, dude, you just walked off the court and quit on it.
I wonder too if this is one of those moments that matters more to us than that team.
It might be. No, it might.
Those guys, like all those guys, even LeBron walking off, where maybe they're just like, but ultimately they just kind of look at the moment and go, we were
dog bleep. No, we were dog bleep. But okay, so this goes one of two ways. I'm going to tell you that I believe this. So to your point, this is damn. Look, we let our guy down, right? We let our guy down. We were garbage. We got to be better. Or, you know what? Bleep him. Like, who does he think he is? He thinks he's just better than us? I think it goes one of two ways.
I think that sentiment is ours.
It might be.
Everyone else. No, it might be. Like, I think the players would be frustrated.
Yeah.
And not great, but I don't think they would take it I really don't, because they've won.
He's LeBron James?
And they've played together, and the majority of that team won last year, that they're going to look at that moment and take it the way we are. I think there's that kind of, in their head, their locker room, like they've been through it, they've been there. Yeah, it's a frustrating moment, but they ain't going to quit. I do not think just because LeBron left at 5 minutes, LeBron's walking away, well, I ain't playing basketball anymore.
Yeah. I wonder in his mind what's going on. I mean, so in his mind, is he making a statement? Does he think, or is this, I just can't watch this crap anymore? Like I honestly, and again, this is something down the line. What if I told you? Guy walking off the court is what brought them back from a 30. I mean, who knows? But I would like to hear, a year removed, 2 years removed, 10 years removed. LeBron, what was I thinking? Yeah, that was a bad move. Or no, I was trying to motivate my guys, and or how are you trying to motivate your guys? Like, how's that motivation? What were you thinking? Or yeah, I just couldn't watch that crap anymore. Or no, my ankle, I couldn't wait another 15 minutes sitting there. My ankle needed to get iced. Like, I honestly, because this is one of those. I tell you all the time. I really try. This is the mental health issue, right? I try to absorb every side of it. I really try to understand it, even if I'm not. I don't subscribe to it. I don't get the other side of this. Like I don't get, and I'm trying to. How does LeBron think that's a positive for his team when he's all about team and I'm all about winning? I'm all about making my team better. I'd love to understand how that's a positive to walk off the court with 5 minutes and 40 seconds left in a game.
I'm right there with you. I can't wrap my head around it, but this really does feel like one of those moments that. Just for us,
yeah, it might be
in the fans.
Yeah,
like we're like, oh my gosh, this is outrageous, and then in that locker room, they're just kind of like,
yeah, Bron, you good, man? You good? No, I'm glad you left. I couldn't watch that. Well, why didn't they?
Not that it's they. This is when I talk about mentally.
Yeah,
I think those dudes handle LeBron walking out better than we are.
No, that's fine. Look, I'm trying not to lose my mind on this. I don't think I am. I'm just trying to understand.
No, but I'm there. Like I look at that and go, what are you doing, man? Like how does that resonate?
That's the difference. Yeah.
So I'm right there with you, but I do think it's one of those moments that like all of us in the outside are like piecing it together, X, Y, Z, Z, and then in that locker room they're just like, man, we just got killed. Like it's tomorrow. Like
okay, and maybe that's it. Maybe it's just tomorrow. Did AD sit through all that crap? Did he sit and watch that, or did he go get groin treatment because he couldn't sit there anymore? He had it was an emergency groin treatment that couldn't wait 15 more minutes. The guy just played on his ankle. He sat there most of the fourth quarter and watched that mess, and then all of a sudden, what? I'd love to know the thought process where because I'm listening. Explain to me how that.
What you don't even have to tell me the optics of it.
Yeah, you don't even have to tell me how it's positive. Just tell me how it's not a negative. Well, I need a treatment. No, come on, man. I mean, really? With all due respect, really?
Because it's just going to come down from the outside in. Like, I have a feeling, like, the Lakers come together today. Like, I don't think all of a sudden, like, Alex Crusoe and KCP are like, I don't even play with this guy.
You okay, Bron? Can you sit through lunch today, or you got to go get your ankle worked out?
I think that's the way we act.
Yeah.
That's the way we're talking all day.
That's fair.
But I do not expect the Los Angeles Lakers to act like that.
And I want somebody to just throw that crack at him. I don't know, Bron, can you sit through dessert, or you got to go get your ankle worked on? How's that going to go?
Mm-hmm. And I think that would actually be fine if it rubbed them the wrong way. But I'd
like to see that.
It 100% to me feels like this rubs all of us the wrong way.
Yeah, it's outside.
It's the optics of it.
Yeah.
But is that really going to fracture?
Well, and I guess there would be part of that. Well, if that's what's bothering you, as opposed to getting your ass kicked, then you got a real problem. I mean, what's bothering you more, getting run out the building by 30, or the king of the world leaving early because he can't watch you scrubs go play?
Because I'm right there with you. I'm like, what is going through your head thinking that?
That's positive.
You know what's going to happen, man. That's going to be the focus. And everyone's going to have to answer that. And then it's going to be, well, did you just cause the fracture? It was already broken. Your team's not good. But is that the moment? Is that the walking off the court final time as a Cavalier taking your jersey off type of move?
Skip Bayless tweets. Here we go again. The drama king leaves the bench with 5:40 left in this blowout and walks quickly up the tunnel to the locker room. Guess he doesn't want to sit through the rest of this embarrassment like his teammates have to. Guess he doesn't want to be associated with this shame. Well, as dramatic as that tweet is, That's the obvious optic. And it's not a stretch. It's not nice. But I got to believe that's what everybody thought. LeBron walked off the court and into the locker room with 6 minutes left. I don't care if you're losing by 100. You stay on the bench with your team. You win or lose as a team. All right, thanks to Sebastian Noel. Thanks to Aaron for producing the TV side. Robert Cat gets 2 days off now. Load management for you. Want to leave early? You want to go now before the show's over? Big superstar?
No, I think I'll stay. I heard a whole lot, but I'll stay.
All right, Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowherd after that. Sports Bar this afternoon at 3. We're back with more award-winning radio for you tomorrow morning starting at 7 a.m. Enjoy your day.
Have a day, y'all.
Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We will smell you tomorrow.